What up, people? Welcome back to my show. My name is Danny. This is my show, Comic Chats. How you doing today, people? We're gonna bring in my main men, Mr. Jason and Mr. Terrence. How y'all
What's
doing?
up? All right, all right.
Before we get started, as I always do, if it's the first time you view my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I am now at 1,170 subscribers. I need 1,500. I can only do that with your help. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, please give me a thumbs up. That helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, it helps me trend better, and also it lets me know that you think I'm doing a good job and you like the content that I'm providing. Also, please leave a comment because your comments I read. I take time to read that, and I'll always try to respond if it's nothing more than saying thanks for your support, which I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. Appreciate it. Also, please notification bells. I don't want you to miss any material that I upload in the future. Today on the show, our main topic is one that I saw, I think, yesterday. Good friend of mine, Robert Stone, talked about it. And when I first heard it, I immediately said, I got to talk about it. I hope it's not true. But it's Chadwick Boseman, a.k.a. T'Challa, Black Panther. There's a rumor that he may not be back for the second Panther. And I sure hope that is rumor and not, in fact, true. So tell me, do you think the rumor is true, Jason? Do you think it's just what I think was really bringing that on is because when people saw him on, I think, Instagram, he lost a lot of weight, looked really, really bad. But that could be for upcoming movie parties going to play or something. You never know what movie props these actors have, what extreme measures they're going to go through to fit the part. So that I'm thinking it could be that, not the fact that he's not coming back. Because we know that as Black Panther got to be muscled up, so somewhat in good physical condition. So, what do you think?
I think it's a rumor too. Black Panther made way too much money. He was actually perfect in the role. Like, he was so good in it. So why would you not pay him the money that he wants if that's the case, you know? Again, we haven't heard anything from him, so we don't really know if it's to take that serious or not. Plus, I heard the website that reported it wasn't really reputable. So
I've heard that same thing too.
yeah. So
I think it was comic book news or comic book
yeah,
comics.
yeah. So I don't believe that. I mean, Marvel will pay him the money they need to pay him. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be asking for Robert Downey money. But even if he does want to raise, like, pay him the money, Black Panther 2 will make $1 billion as well. As long as you make the movie good, people will still go out and see it like they did the first one. So, yeah, pay him his money.
Yeah. What do you think, Terrence? You think the rumor is true, or you think this is a bunch of just idle talk because stuff is so slow in the movie world?
I noticed the headline and I ignored it because it didn't come from Kevin Feige. So if it doesn't come from him, I just tend to ignore it. There's a lot of rumors that float around that don't really have any sort of validity to it. And in terms of his weight loss, I don't think it's for a role at all. It could just be because of his he took on a new diet, uh, like something vegan or whatever. So that could probably be what it is more so than a role itself. But even if it is a role, then that's fine. But that has nothing to do with him returning or not returning to Black Panther. If um, if something like this does happen, I think that it would be one of the dumbest shit that I've ever seen in anything comic book related. Just because he's only had one movie, and there's no reason as to why he shouldn't have his own trilogy when you have people like Thor who nobody cared about until his third movie, and you have someone like Black Panther that came out and made $1 billion. So if anything, it could be considered disrespectful and even slightly racist that you would just have this black man there. You're like, yeah, $1 billion, and we're just going to get rid of him. Not in the fourth movie, but in the second one. So he just kind of gets pushed to the side. It just, no matter how you look at it, it has a negative undertone to it. But if they were to do something like that, I feel that it would be to push the sister as Black Panther, but it's far
I've,
too early for that.
I've heard that rumor
And
too.
that shouldn't even be in the conversation until after the third Black Panther movie, and
For
even
sure.
and even more so after that because T'Challa is a key member of the Avengers. He's been part of the Illuminati. He's done stuff with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. So his comic book roots are too rich to write him off that quickly or subject him to being nothing more than a background character like Bucky, for example, who's not important. So if you do that to him this early on, it just would be really unfortunate, and it doesn't make any sense. So I kind of, even though I had a bunch of things flow into my mind as to what the reason could be to entertain something this ridiculous, and that's what it is to me. It's ridiculous. So I just kind of ignored it as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, it's probably just to give people something to talk about because ain't nothing really going on right now. So let's just put out a story that Chadwick might not be back as Black Panther, which I don't see that happening. I really don't.
Well, the rumors also said that he was a little disgruntled. Him and also Brie Larson was disgruntled about the difference between the money that the big three made versus what they're making. And like I said, if my memory serves correctly, they were saying the first movies they made roughly somewhere between 2 and 3 million, which is not nothing to sneeze at, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to get up more like the $10 to $15 million range, which I think um, both the movies made $1 billion. So I don't say get all the way to the upper end, but somewhere in the medium, need a happy medium. I mean, you can't get 10 million. If you can get 7 or 8, then I don't think I'd turn that down. But like I said, a lot of this is just conjecture. It didn't, like you said earlier, Jason, didn't come from a reputable story house.
Mm-hmm.
And like Terrence said, I didn't hear it from Kevin Feige. So I'm
Um,
just gonna say it's rumor.
it, two things. Number one, Brie Larson doesn't deserve the money that Robert Downey Jr. made. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. started the MCU, and he is easily the most popular character there. Period, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
To the point to where when he's not there, people demand that they show him, even if it's nothing more than flashbacks. Brie Larson's character, Captain Marvel, is only where she is because you have 23 some odd movies before hers, and they put her right before Endgame. So she is essentially the byproduct of an already successful universe to where it was guaranteed that her movie was going to make money by default, whether it be about a female, whether it be about a dishwashing cloth, it doesn't matter. It's Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been running her mouth, disrespecting a lot of the MCU actors, as I've seen in many interviews, trying to underplay what they've done, trying to make them look bad because they use stunt doubles from time to time, even though she had two, if not three, at different points, and she tried to lie about it. So like, she says stuff like, "Oh, my movies have made more than 4 billion." It's like, no, you have one movie, and that is your movie, Captain Marvel, that made $1 billion. Endgame is not your movie; it is
Mm-hmm.
everyone's movie because everyone is in there. No one went to go see Endgame because they were like, Captain Marvel is in it. They went to see it because they saw Infinity War. They wanted to see how all these characters dealt with Thanos. So again, this is nothing more than her being a byproduct. So she doesn't get to demand that. And like in terms of Chadwick Boseman, I haven't heard him demanding anything. The only thing that I've heard from him is, "Oh, I would love to do more with the character." And he's even name dropped a couple people like the Submariner that he would like to see in his film. And Ryan Coogler was talking about that as well, that they wanted to put that in the first one, but Kevin Feige thought they should wait a little bit so that way it doesn't interfere with the current plans, which makes sense from a storytelling standpoint. But I feel like Brie Larson as a person is just really greedy, entitled, and she has a what I call a bitch attitude. Like she's not owed anything except for what she's getting. And over time, once she proves that she's a constant level of success, then you can talk about receiving the money of the man that started the MCU. But until then, you can get that shit out of my face.
Yeah, I agree with you. Neither of them is actually entitled to that kind of money. You know what I mean? Like, so for them to be sitting there saying that they're complaining, if they want to get more money, that's not a problem. But to be saying that they want to be on the levels of the originals, it's just, you had one movie. They had three plus the Avenger movies plus the side movies. You know what I mean? They already established what they had to do. So after your third movie, then you can talk about it, you know?
Yeah, and even still, it's like the difference being is that someone is the foundation versus someone being just another pillar. It's like
Hmm.
I can essentially take out that pillar and the building will be fine. It will
Yeah,
only
for
begin
sure.
to collapse when you take out a bunch of pillars, and then it
Hmm.
loses its stability and then it collapses. Like Captain Marvel just got there. So even if they were just to, like, I don't know, say kill her off in 3 movies, no one's really gonna care. It's like you have all these other characters that you can focus on top of newer characters and characters they haven't introduced that are way more interesting than that character, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just thinking, and I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate that someone's whispering in her ear. I don't know if it's her agent or a friend or something, but man, Bree, man, you made just as much money, if not more, than what they did out your first time out the gate, and such and such and such. Now you supposed to be the new leader of the Avengers, like Iron Man was and Captain America. So why can't you get their money? Or they just not gonna pay you because you're a woman. I'm thinking that's what I'm just thinking. Might be somebody's putting in her ear, and I'm not agreeing with that. I'm agreeing with what y'all saying, but I think now that's kind of how some actors see stuff. Look,
Hmm.
you paying such and such because he did this and he had this specific title. Now I have that title and I'm the new kid on the block. So why don't I get the same pay that he did? But they don't realize it's just like if a current, let's just say doctor, ER doctor was making X amount of money, and then he worked his way up to chief of staff. He retires. The new chief of staff don't get the money that he was making when he was up there. He got to start off at the bottom or
Hmm.
somewhere in the mid of that salary range and then work his way up there too because he got to see whether or not he's going to be able to adequately replace what the original chief of staff did or not. So I think sometimes they don't forget that. Sometimes they want the money before they actually done the work. Which in one sport, which I love, does that. The NBA is notoriously bad at doing that.
Hmm.
They give you an astronomical amount of money.
Hmm.
They ain't play one game on the NBA court, ain't bounce
Hmm.
one NBA ball. So sometimes that stuff get kind of muddled. So I'm thinking that may be the case in this.
Yeah,
Um,
If I had to pay somebody more money, and I'm not being chauvinistic, I would pay Chad Boseman more because he's been in two of those movies. He's been in the Civil War and he's been in his own movie. And to me, his character is more interesting.
hmm,
I think it puts more butts in the seat versus Captain Marvel. I didn't hate Captain Marvel movie, but if I had missed it, I don't think I'd been upset. If I had missed Black Panther, I could tell I would have been upset.
well,
absolutely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Terrence.
I was gonna say, well, the facts are is that Chadwick Boseman did put more butts in the seat. That's the literal facts. Like
Hmm.
his movie domestically made more than Infinity War. That's
Hmm.
facts. Brie Larson's stuff, it essentially did, like, even though it hit 1 billion. I mean, nobody was surprised by that. Like anytime an MCU movie makes 700 million or more, no one is surprised by that. You can't be because that's the typical thing.
Hmm.
What's not typical is for a person in a solo movie to make more domestically than a whole team of superheroes. That is not normal.
Absolutely. And one of the highlights in Civil War was when Black Panther came in. You know what I mean? So right then and there, they brought a hype for him, and then when his movie came out, people would just wanted to go see it with crazy money.
Correct. Yeah, to me, he had the best scenes in that movie. He's the one
Hmm.
that beat the shit out of Bucky while not wearing his suit. He
Hmm.
laid hands on him quick. He was chasing Bucky. really the only thing that stopped Bucky from dying was the plot armor because he wasn't really responsible as much as Baron Zemo. But I'm like, other than that plot protecting him, I'm like, Black Panther would have murdered him, and anyone that would try to argue that would be number one, they've never read comic books in their life because I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that a man that easily defeated the Fantastic Four will be threatened by a guy with a fucking metal arm. Like, that's ridiculous.
No, he would have killed Bucky for sure. For sure.
Okay. Well, we're all in agreement that we think that this is a rumor. I saw Ninja asked that in the chat, and we are actually correct. We do not believe the rumor. We believe that this is something just made up, and we won't believe it unless we hear that of Chad Boseman's mouth or Kevin Feige's. So, next topic is going to be Clone Wars Episode 10. Terrence, I know you hadn't watched it, but Jason, I think you did watch it. I think we
absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, the whole season, you don't have to watch the first 8 episodes. You can just you can watch them if you want to, just to kill time. But to get to what's really going on, what's really exciting, start at episode 9, episode 10, which was this past Friday. I definitely think we're going to see Order 66, and I believe we may see what I would do. I would end the series by Anakin being on the table. You see his eyes as the mask is going over his head, and the screen goes dark, and then he start breathing like Darth Vader. That's how I would end season 7, and I would be totally happy.
Absolutely, me too. Like this past episode, man, it was just good from start to finish.
Yeah.
That lightsaber battle with Maul and Ahsoka, oh man, that was Ahsoka, so good, bro.
Man, Ahsoka, you could tell she been trained by Anakin because she got a little cockiness now, and nothing don't shake her. And Maul, as we all know, Maul is hell.
Yep, and when
this hand flew with her.
Yeah, and when she told Maul that if Anakin had come, he would have dealt with you. I was like, yes, that's right.
You fight better because if Anakin was here, you should have been toast.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it was an amazing episode. I can't wait for the last 2. I'm not sure how far they're going to go into Revenge of the Sith, but if they do end it with Darth Vader getting the costume, I'll be absolutely fine with that. They're
already in it now because Obi-Wan already killed
Dooku.
Grievous.
Grievous, yeah.
Anakin already killed Dooku. That's already into the movie there. So, and then now, according to Obi-Wan, they asked him to spy on Palpatine. They are deep into it now. I don't know whether they're going to show us the fight on Mustafar. I doubt if they'll do that. But I'm thinking they're probably going to show Order 66 and those clones probably turning on Ahsoka.
Absolutely agree, because she has a bunch of clones with her. So when the order comes out, they're obviously going to have to attack her. So she's going to have to fight them off as well, which makes a lot of sense, which would be amazing to see. I like the fact that we're actually seeing what's happening while what was going on during the movie. It's so good the way it's done.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it, Terrence.
And then what's going to happen is this should want you, if you haven't seen Rebels, this should make you want to see Rebels.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've watched Rebels.
To see the continuation. Because in Rebels, Ahsoka fights Darth Vader. It's a pretty cool fight.
Which was a good fight, too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I like Rebels. Rebels is good. They're different type of shows. Rebels is more or less focused on one group of characters, which I like. I like Clone Wars too, but some of the episodes I put them on. I'm just doing other stuff while I watch it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how the beginning of this season was.
Clone Wars basically just show you animated version of some of the stuff that happened during the Clone Wars that we didn't see in the live action movie, but we still saw the same people. Rebels is totally different because they're all dead except Obi-Wan and Yoda, and we're seeing what other Jedi, the remnants of what's left of the Jedi, what they're doing.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to see how, because some of those, you remember the Inquisitors? Those those are former Jedi that Vader turned to serve him.
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing that process too.
Yeah, it would be so nice, man. But again, there's only 2 more episodes left, and I just think they should have did this from the beginning of the season. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The
yeah,
whole season should have just started between, or right as Revenge of the Sith started, and they should have just went on with that. You know,
yeah. But then it would have been Clone Wars. It would have been Revenge of the Sith.
true, but I mean, Clone Wars still didn't end until really the end of Revenge of the Sith, right? So they could have shown just like what they're doing. They could show it. I think they could have just like spaced out this season instead of going through the Bad Batch. Bad Batch was good. I liked the
Yeah.
episodes, I really did. But once it got to these last ones, it was just
Yeah,
like,
Bad Batch was watchable,
mhm.
but like, when Ahsoka meets those two girls, you really can skip through that. I think
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
episode five,
Hmm.
5 through 8. You can
Hmm.
skip those three.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There, Terrence? I
Yeah,
hear.
I'm here.
Okay. You should check them out, man, as soon as you can.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely get around to it.
It's very good. It's a very good series. They've done a really good job so far.
Those are the main two topics. Excuse me, that I had. Either of y'all got something in particular you want to talk about?
Um, there was something I was thinking about earlier and I completely forgot. Let me go back and see.
I'm looking at the chat. Let's see if I see any questions while you're looking.
Yeah,
What's up? What's up, D. Scott? Thank you for joining us.
there was something in
Niner Zeno 209. Thank you. What's up? Thank you for joining us, bro. This your first time joining the channel? First time I think I've seen you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, sir. I appreciate it. I also heard, I don't know if any of you watch this. Terrence probably does. I don't watch it. One Punch Man, I heard that's going to live action.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, well, let's see.
It's an
I saw,
anime property.
yeah, I saw season 1, which I thought was good, and then I started watching season 2. I haven't finished it yet, but it was also interesting. The character Saitama, he just has the ability to one punch his opponents, and he just kind of kills them. It wasn't until the end of season 1 that I saw him kind of struggle before he did his one punch, which I still equate it to, a Superman punch. Like anytime I see a character like one punching a powerful opponent and they die, I'm like, that's always taken from Superman. Like he did it first. So, um, but yeah, in terms of a live action movie, I I mean I'm slightly intrigued, but any sort of anime adaptations into live action have not, for the most part, have not been good. So I kind of have to would I need to see what it looks like, and then who they pick for the characters. Like I'm not as invested in it as some of my friends, so I might be just a little bit more lenient. But because I know what it is, I can still go, well, that's wrong, or why do they look like that, or why do they all seem whitewashed, or something like that. Like I'll be able to do that very easily. Um, yeah, so I feel like they have to be very careful because even if they were to make a good adaptation, there's a high chance that most people won't care because they haven't really figured out the formula to bring people in terms of anime adaptations. It hasn't happened. The best example of that would be Alita Battle Angel, but even that didn't do all too well, and that's like the best example I can think of in terms of any sort of American attempts. Because the other ones, I'm like, nah, this is not Ghost in the Shell. I like Scarlett Johansson, but I'm like that's not it at all. Dragon Ball Evolution, nah, that's not it at all. Um, they did the Death Note thing. I watched that before I saw the anime, and
Would
like
you
as a
consider the
movie,
Matrix kind of anime-ish?
what the first Matrix movie?
Yeah.
No, because it's not an anime. Like you know, for the average person, when they saw the trailer for that, they saw they saw Keanu Reeves, they saw Lawrence Fishburne, they saw Carrie Ann Moss, they saw Hugo Weaving, and they saw the concept. And they're like, oh, we've never seen anything like this before. The stuff they were doing with the slow mo and the special effects, and even from the trailer, it seemed to imply that there was a lot of philosophical stuff going on, which is also what you don't get a lot. Usually, you get a lot of trash in movies. They don't make you think about anything. Um, so yeah, no, that to me that's different. Like I feel like now because there's more anime that someone would equate it to that, but I'm like, that's not really the same thing. Like when you have like something like Alita Battle Angel, for example, which is an anime adaptation. Um, it number one, it looks like a lot of sci-fi movies that people have already seen. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't really like outside of the people that already watch that kind of stuff, it doesn't have any reach. Like the average person that is either again seen something like that or they're not an anime fan, they don't really have any real incentive to go watch it right away. It usually just comes across as, oh, okay, I'll probably watch it later, which is a problem because if they watch it later, the movie makes no money, or it makes very little. They don't do a sequel, and other people that were going to maybe adapt something else, they will probably shelve that project because this didn't do so well. It like you have to lead by example. So until one just breaks the mold and makes all this money, they're not going to be as courageous about spending a bunch of money on something that, for all intents and purposes, has proven to be not successful in terms of most people are concerned. You have to go beyond your fans. You like because it's all about money at the end of the day. So if they see that it's not making money, it's illogical to kind of proceed forward. And One Punch Man, like while I feel like it's more popular than it was like when it started, but at the same time, my mom doesn't know what that is. I can probably go all up and down my block and ask people, and I'm pretty sure most of them are not going to know what that is. So that's the problem. So when they see a trailer and it's like One Punch Man, they're going to probably think it's based on a comic book. They're probably going to be like, is that DC or Marvel or what is that? Maybe it might get them to go, but we're pulling at a bunch of ifs and maybes
Mhm.
instead of
And
just
I don't like the cartoon work neither. Animation One Punch Man looks kind of like animation 101 to me.
exactly. And that's exactly how it's supposed to look. It's meant to be like a parody of things that are serious because of the Saitama character, where he just seems to be a dweeb, but then when he takes off his clothes, he's just like all shredded and he could just do this punch that kills everybody. So it has that comedic approach to it. So that's another thing too. Like when they release that, it's like, okay, well, will people respond to this, and will they respond to the silliness of what that's supposed to be? There's too many variables. I would be interested to see it, but if they don't do it, because right now I haven't heard anything official, anyways. If they don't do it, I'm not gonna care. Like I can always just watch the anime or finish season two.
Mm. Niner Zeno 209 said, I hear from a lot of my friends that Rebels is better than Clone Wars. Do you guys agree? I'm new to the Star Wars animated show. It depends on what you like. I think the earlier seasons of Clone Wars is better. But overall I think Rebels is better. Has more interesting stories to me. Um, Clone Wars have people you familiar with. Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu, Palpatine. The ones in Rebels, you've heard of them before, but you've not quite seen them all. You never heard of Ezra Miller or Kanan, but you
Mhm.
heard of what Thrawn. Thrawn is like the big baddie in there. I really liked him. His storyline, is very cool. But this is different. The way they write it. If you watch season 7, just skip to episode 9, 10, watch 11 and 12, and just transition straight to Rebels, and it should be a smooth transition. So I definitely think you'll like Rebels.
And I think Clone Wars is good too. I like them both, to be
I like
honest
them
with
both.
you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd put one over the other, but I do like them both. Like, they're both good shows. They both have some boring episodes. They both have some really good ones, man.
Yeah, exactly. I think I like the lightsaber fights better in Clone Wars.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I wanted to add too that there's always going to be those humans that say stuff like, well, everything is a risk. Usually when I hear stuff like that, I'm like,
Everything is a
obviously
what?
is a risk in terms of like, making a movie. And I'm like, yeah, that's obvious, but there are things that are more riskier than others. Like Disney, their rumor of trying to do, say like a Dragon Ball cinematic universe. The advantage that has over every single anime that has ever existed at any point is that people like my mom know what that is. They know about the what they would call a cartoon, and it's not. It's an anime, but most people they don't know what anime is, so they'll just call it a cartoon. They like she knows that that's the cartoon where you have the muscle guys, they have ridiculous looking hair, and they scream all the time. She knows that. She's not gonna be able to go, well, that's I think she knows Goku. Like she's like, oh, that's Goku, but she won't necessarily be able to name everyone else. But she's at least aware of that. My friend's dad is just like, yo, that Vegeta guy is pretty cool. Like Vegeta's the one that he knows by name. Everybody else he doesn't know, but there's that. Like um, that was like the anime to kind of break the mold for the American audiences, and like everybody had the backpacks and the shirts and the costumes and the toys. And if you weren't watching Dragon Ball Z, somebody in your family or a friend was watching Dragon Ball Z. So there's a certain awareness to it that gives it an advantage. So like what you would have to do is, because of the fail that was Dragon Ball Evolution, it has like a bad taste, assuming if people remember that. So what you would have to do is, as soon as you announce it, you have to tell people that it's going to be the most epic thing they've ever seen, number one, to spark intrigue from such a bold statement. And then right out the gate, the first thing that you release in terms of your teaser has to be the greatest thing ever. I'm talking about like these characters have to not only look physically impressive, but you got to have like a crazy looking fight to where like I should be able to say something like, I don't think I've ever seen this kind of special effects before. Like never. Like this has to be something new. You need to have it on that level because again, you already had a misstep right out the gate. But there's been enough time to where maybe people won't remember, and you have to show them why people love Dragon Ball Z so much. Why it's such a big deal. People like my mom. Why is it a big deal? Well, let us show you why it's a big deal. That's what you need to do. One Punch Man, it doesn't have that. It's One Punch Man. To people like my mom and to a random guy at the grocery store, that's just another fucking anime that they've never seen. That's the difference.
All right, chat. I'm looking to see any questions you may have. Please send them in, and I will be more than happy. Between the three of us, to try to answer your questions.
Have you been watching the Ozark, Danny?
I have off and on.
It's really good, man.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what season I'm on. I just know that right now, the guy they rent the house from, he died.
It's probably season 2 because I just finished watching season 3 and I don't remember that. So yeah.
Or when the old guy helped them burn them fields, the poppy fields.
Yeah, that was season 2.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in there. Let's see. Any more topics we can come up with? It is extremely slow in the topic world.
Yeah, it really is, man. There's really nothing going on at all.
What did that human say? Wakandans no more? Oh, because of Black
Black
Panther.
Panther, yeah.
You guys watch Dead to Me on Netflix. I've never heard of it.
Me neither.
I
Dead to
have
me.
I have no idea what that is. Because that's a Netflix show. Th- this is what I've noticed about Netflix material. Like when it comes to their shows and movies, the things that they have in common is that number one, they spend a lot of money on it, which is why Netflix is already in debt. Number two, a lot of their stuff is really bad. There are so many bad Netflix shows and movies, like to the point to where you can be forgiven if you just assume that a show or movie is bad before you even watch it. Like it's
Hmm.
one of those things where you hear about a show or a movie and you're like, and then you watch it and it might be able to surprise you, but that's so rare. Like for every good Netflix show or movie you can name, I'm pretty sure somebody can give you another 20 that are bad. It's like that ridiculous. It's not even at all.
Yeah,
Like
you're
Net,
right.
It's kind of like you remember how sci-fi used to make these, like they pump out these movies and they be
or
like, where in the hell?
Hmm.
Like the Sharknadoes. I've never watched the first Sharknado, but for whatever that seems to be some kind of cult following. I'm like,
it,
who the hell want to see some shit
it
tornado with sharks in it
I,
killing people?
I've seen quite a few of them. They're very bad
Really?
movies and they're silly and the special effects are awful. And it's like
Hmm.
the difference to me between Netflix and sci-fi is that Netflix number one has better content. Number two, because they spend more money on it, their stuff looks better. So what you get is a piece of shit sprayed with Febreze. Like you could still tell it's shit, but it doesn't necessarily smell like it, so it can sucker you in. And then you
Yeah.
realize, oh damn, this is a pile of shit. It smells horrible.
No, now when
Like
I
yeah,
see sci-fi original, I'll be like, oh boy, this is gonna be. I think last one I saw was it was the thing with like Beowulf, and man, it was. I was like, oh my god, Beowulf looked like crazy. Not Beowulf, but Grendel,
Was
the
it was it the
monster.
animated one?
No, it wasn't the one with Angelina Jolie
Mm.
and Russell Crowe. This was like a
well,
sci-fi original, and they
Oh
had this
yeah.
one. He was like this alligator or something, but he could go in like salt water or some shit. It's crazy.
well,
These sh-
I,
they always have this movie with these animals with these crazy adaptations, and they can do this and do that and all kind of shit. I'm like, oh god.
I should say that the one thing that I know for sure that sci-fi will embrace is that if they're doing some kind of an adaptation, they will make stuff look like the characters, and they would push for that, like how they did with Krypton. You know, they wanted Zod and Lobo and Doomsday to look how they're supposed to look.
Oh, now
So like,
they were on point with Doom and Brainiac. That's the
Hmm.
best Brainiac I've ever seen.
well, let me think, because
Other than animation, but anything
I
live action, he is the best Brainiac I've ever seen.
Same with Doomsday, man. I wasn't
I
watching Krypton, and I seen a clip of Doomsday, and I was like, "What is this? That's Krypton?" And I had to go back and watch it, and I was like, "Wow, why couldn't the
well,
movie do that?"
here's what I'll say about the Brainiac on Krypton. I think he was great, but I think the one on Smallville completely trumps him times a million because the one on Smallville, he did way more than the Brainiac on Krypton. There's no comparison in terms of
Yeah, but the
accomplishment.
ship, but this was like way back when. This ain't the Brainiac that we're accustomed. This is this is the Brainiac like he was trying to come back before um Krypton was ever even like established.
No, I understand that, but that still is irrelevant to my point because it doesn't matter what kind of ship he had. Like that's great
No,
and
I mean I
accurate,
think
but
that what I'm saying is I hear what you're saying. But I think that the Brainiac on Smallville had done absorbed the knowledge and stuff from the planet, and kind of he evolves as he absorbs knowledge. Correct?
yeah, definitely.
I don't think this one that you're talking about had absorbed the knowledge to it had grown enough to just do all this crazy stuff that the one on Smallville had yet. I think he was still in his part of his growth process. Is what I'm trying to.
not
If that makes any sense.
well. The one on Krypton was not behind from the one on Smallville because he was a time traveler. He was traveling through time, and he had
Okay.
already expressed from the beginning that he had collected entire civilizations. And they even had a moment where they showed that, and it looked like hundreds and hundreds of civilizations. So his intelligence level was already off the chart in the pilot episode when we became aware of him. So it's almost implied that he might even be more knowledgeable than the one on Smallville, because the one on Smallville was introduced in the way to help push Clark to his destiny. You know, he was going to, number one, he was going to kill all the humans, but he also wanted to stop Clark because he just had a feeling that he was going to become something great. He's like, you're not like any metahuman that I've ever come across. There's no human on the planet like you. You're too different and you're too much of a risk. I feel like if I let you live and I don't try to stop you, that would be the most illogical thing that I've ever done in my entire existence. And he was right about that. And then they ended up, the Legion ended up, you know, capturing him, reprogramming him, and he became Brainiac 5. And then we saw that there was an episode where he came from the future to talk to Clark because he was straying away from his destiny, because he was making a lot of emotional decisions. They had a whole episode where he was taking him to different points in his timeline. Like, I've seen all this. We know about you from the future. Like, they really dove into that, you know, to whereas in Krypton, you know, it was really about Sagel, you know, the one that's
The
going to give,
granddaddy.
the one that's going to, you know, give birth to Jor-El and Zor-El, you know. So I'm like, yeah, that's dope. And it should have ended where the planet got destroyed, but they just didn't get to that. But I'm like, in between, you have a lot of stuff that can happen. You know, people they can meet, especially when you have characters like um, Zod and Brainiac literally coming from different time zones. You know, Zod coming from the future, where he was already aware of a fully grown Superman and his accomplishments. I'm like, man, this show's level of storytelling can go in any which way direction because they've already introduced these characters that have time travel. So yeah, including Adam Strange, because he literally came from the future to tell Seg about, you know, hey, grandson, yo, like he's like the greatest thing ever, but he's gonna get wiped from existence if we don't stop this asshole over here.
Yeah. Um, Latavian Warlord said, to answer the title, yes, of course he will. Yes, we believe he will too, sir. I agree with you 100%. He will come back as Black Panther 2. I think this is just a lot of rumor and conjecture.
For sure. Isn't he under contract anyways?
I'm not. I'm
All
not sure.
all of them are under contract, but like, because let me see. Depending on what Kevin Feige discusses with the actor,
Mm-hmm.
it's either sometimes they have like a total of 5 movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, within that 5, it may be discussed that one or more will be your own solo movie, and then after that is up, you have to renew your contract. And that would be, of course, depending on if your character is still around and if they feel like people like your character, if they want to use you more. So in his case, he had Civil War appearance, then he had a solo movie Black Panther. He was in Infinity War, then he was in Endgame briefly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all of 4 appearances, all of which are brief, with the exception of one solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the I don't know if that was his entire contract. He might have just one more movie, which is Black Panther 2, which is why some people might be thinking, oh, whoa, well, that's either going to be the last one, or what are they going to kill him, or what's going to happen? So I understand the speculation, but that's usually how that works. They do anywhere from like 3 to 5 at a time, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's rare that you would get more than that. Robert Downey Jr. would kind of be the one consistent one, and then after that would be Chris Evans and then Chris Hemsworth. But other than that, it's usually like a 3 to 5 movie kind of contract going on,
Yeah, well,
or
Robert Downey.
appearances rather.
Yeah, because Robert Downey Jr.'s contract did expire, and that's when he got so much money to come back. I think it was for one of the Avengers ones, I think his contract expired after 3.
Yeah. He renewed his contract. The same thing with Chris Evans. Like there were a few from the original roster where they renewed their contracts and stuff. But the difference with them is that they started on a different level. Like because their whole thing was like you have to be here as part of your agreement as we're building this up. And then from there, you kind of go to the table and renegotiate. Okay, now that this is big, you can get a little bit more money now. Do you want to do more solo movies or do you just want to make cameos? But then there's only so much say so they have because if it conflicts with what Kevin Feige wants, then you get no say so. It's like if you sign this, you got your 2 solo movies and you got 3 other appearances. So unless we tell you that we're going to take you out of your contract, which means that they'll pay you, but they've decided not to use you, you can't just up and leave. Your ass is going to do them or you're going to be in trouble. So that's the difference there,
Absolutely. See, there's a question on the screen for you, Terrence. Is Jet Li a legit martial artist in your opinion, or is he more Hollywood or stunts and martial arts?
Well, let's see. Jet Li started his martial arts training in China, like I think age 6 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been training since he was a child. This was before he was in movies. And then I forget if it was like President Nixon or whoever. It was one of the presidents where he did a performance for the White House. They were performing their wushu martial arts, which is a wide range of Chinese martial arts. And the president was so impressed that he wanted to have that little kid being Jet Li be his actual bodyguard. That's a legitimate thing that happened. So to answer your question, yes, Jet Li is definitely a martial artist. He's a martial artist and then an actor afterwards. It's because of how good he is that they put him in movies. That he at a young age exhibited skills that most adults will never reach. Like he's just one of those rare exceptions where it's like, man, like this child is he's damn near like a prodigy, which is why they gave him his name Jet, because he's as fast as a jet. It was like this dude ain't as fast as Bruce Lee, but he's definitely really fast. So
like he made his breakout movie in Lethal Weapon, wasn't it?
American, yeah, I believe so. American was
his American one.
Yeah, his American one.
Yeah, is definitely what you have to say, because he was already famous in China for many years. So because of his fame in China, they brought him over here. It's the same thing with Jackie Chan, same thing with Bruce Lee, Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao, Bolo. The list goes on and on. But like Jet Li had never played a bad guy before, so that was new. That was number one. That was new for his Chinese fans. And then for the few Americans that, would go to like the Chinese cinemas and they would watch like 2 to 3 martial arts movies back to back, some of which were his, it's like most Americans didn't know him like that. So when he was introduced in a very popular franchise, everybody found out about him then because he was like one of the main focuses. So from there, just from that one movie, his popularity in America skyrocketed just from that one movie.
He was the best in that movie.
The movie that didn't make much money, but I enjoy his when he played the Monkey King.
You talking about Forbidden Kingdom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that fight scene with him and that guy at the end.
Oh, like I didn't like Forbidden Kingdom that much. I thought it was mediocre. I
didn't like the crazy part and the funny part with Jackie Chan and the boy who didn't know nothing about no karate. I didn't care for that. I'm talking about the fight scene at the first when he fought that evil sucker that tricked him, and then when he got his staff back at the end. That's what I like.
The only thing that I liked about that movie was when Jet Li went up against Jackie Chan. That's the only reason that I had the tiniest bit of interest in that movie, because everything else I'm like,
I suck was hell when he had that damn staff though, boy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm like, to me, that was like the biggest reason to watch it. I'm like, you're putting two martial arts superstars in the same movie,
Mm-hmm.
and there's going to be some kind of fight scene. If not, then that'll be silly that they're just kind of there and they're just not fighting. But so yeah, to me, uh, I think that film is a waste of both of their talents. And if you're gonna put them in a movie together, the story should have complemented their skills. That's how I feel about that.
I agree.
So, but yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, most humans, they don't when they watch stuff like, because there's a difference between uh, a martial arts movie and an action movie that has martial arts in it. I'll give you some examples. Transporter with Jason Statham is an action movie where he does martial arts. A
Mm-hmm.
movie like Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee or Fearless with Jet Li, those are martial arts movies, which mean that the entire focus of the movie is centered around martial arts spectacles. That's what a martial arts movie is. Something like
I,
Bloodsport or
IP
Kickboxer
man.
or yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
it, I know that they call the movies Ip Man. It was like a licensing issue why they couldn't call it Yip Man, which is his name, but Ip is another way of saying Yip in Cantonese, so it's not like a sin or anything. But like yeah, the Ip Man movies, those are martial arts movies because it's centered around the guy
Martial
that
arts.
trained the greatest martial artist of all time, which
Mm.
also means that he himself is up there too because you trained him. Like it was just one of those things where Ip Man's son, he was talking about that like man, I wonder if like my dad just knew that he was gonna turn out like that because at one point he had said to him that when Bruce Lee was gonna go to America, it was like, well, you have the racist white people over there, they probably won't give you a chance, but depending on how much noise you make, then I'll be able to hear it over here. So sure enough, Bruce Lee, even underneath the racism, he had made enough noise to where the people in China, including Yip Man, found out like, oh shoot, Bruce Lee is doing something over there, considering his limitations. He did the whole
Green Hornet.
Kato thing in Green Hornet. Then they
Mm-hmm.
changed it to the Kato show in China.
Yeah.
So that's what got him to do his movies and stuff. And then because he was doing MCU level stuff on his own, like writing, directing, starring, and producing all his own shit. Like he was basically like four Kevin Feige's in his own shit. Like that's what he was doing. He's like, I'm gonna do all of this. I'm gonna direct it. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna produce it. I'm gonna star in it, and I'm gonna choreograph all of the fight scenes. And I'm gonna put some of my students as some of the main characters. Like nobody was doing shit like that. So like and then just like breaking all the records and stuff, and the people in America was like, damn, like, did we reject him? Yeah, we did because we're racist assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him,
Mm-hmm.
tell him,
Because
tell him to come back.
I think it was his idea to do the thing that David Carradine got.
Yep.
That was his idea. They stole
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that show is still good, but it would have been better if Bruce was in charge of it. So
Was
like,
it
they
Kung
stole
Fu?
it.
Yeah, they stole
They
it from him.
he told them about it, and they guaranteed that he was going to star in it, and
Mm-hmm.
gave it to David Carradine because he's a white guy.
What? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened, and Bruce was like, fuck it, I'll just go back to China and I'll
Yeah.
do my own shit. And then sure enough, record after record after record after record, just
Yeah.
just crazy shit. I'm like, how do you do that? And then when he was filming his fourth movie, Game of Death, with Dan Inosanto and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like he filmed like the stuff in the pagoda where you have the concept of there are different martial artists on every level of the pagoda, which by the way,
Mm-hmm.
there are too many there are too many cartoons, animes, video games, and even action movies that have blatantly copied a lot of Bruce Lee's concepts. Just stole that shit. Like if I just show you scenes back to back, they stole all that shit from Bruce Lee. Doesn't mean it's not good, but I'm like, you wouldn't have had this shit without him. But anyway, so he filmed a lot of that stuff, which is why like any of the stuff where he's in the yellow tracksuit and he's going up the levels,
Mm-hmm.
that's all him. And some of that footage is what he would consider not perfect because his wife and the director of that movie, they wanted to finish the movie in his honor because he didn't get to finish it because he stopped and he went to America to do Enter the Dragon, which, you know, at the time is just like, okay, you have this martial arts movie that has its big budget and they're like, you're going to be the main star. Like, what do you want to do with this? And it's like, okay, let's have a tournament. Yes, Mortal Kombat fans, that idea is taken definitely from Bruce Lee. And an island where you got a dude that's like hacked and he has a metal hand, and they're like, we're gonna have all these martial artists from around the world come to this secluded island that's the most shadiest thing in the world, and they're gonna fight. That I'm like, that's his shit, right? So he did that, and it just blew up. Like everybody was watching it, and the lines around the corners. My uncle and my grandfather and everybody was telling me, like everybody was watching Enter the Dragon when that shit came out. It's like, you gotta go see this Chinese dude, man. He be fucking people up. Like that was the sentiment. Like we need more shit like this. Thus, something amazing happened, which is called the Kung Fu craze. Everybody was making martial arts movies and shit after that. You had to do it, and because of that, then you got Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Benny the Jet Urquidez, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Don the Dragon Wilson, and so on and so on. Like just a whole sea of them. Like you literally had all these movies coming out in the theaters, and it was like, man, like, can you watch them all on Friday? Probably not. You're gonna have to watch 2 this day and watch 2 the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the comic book version, but for people that love martial arts. We were getting that kind of shit back then, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it just sucks though that you know, that Jet Li or Bruce Lee rather he didn't get to live to see his success because he died before seeing the success of Enter the Dragon, and he didn't get to finish Game of Death. So when I was watching Game of Death, when I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, this dude was such a perfectionist that like his wife had to put together stuff that, again, that he wouldn't have used because he wanted to redo those scenes because he thought he could make them better. So they did have a stand-in in like the first 40 minutes, like the guy, the Bruce Lee, who was basically the clone of Bruce Lee. Like we have to have another one. Like he was cool, but he ain't no Bruce. Like he tried, but nah. But I'm like, man, when I was watching, I'm like, this is your mistake. Like he was just so fast and so accurate. I'm like, when I think that your mistakes look like masterpieces, that's how you know Bruce Lee was dope. Because I'm looking at that going, yo, man, that's your mistake. You like, and it's something that only he knew, right? Like he like, nah, I could definitely do this kick faster. I could do it better. I'm like, yo, man, when your mistakes look that good, that's just something that I don't think I've ever seen since. Because usually with movies and actors, good example, Jackie Chan. When Jackie Chan fucks up, it looks like a mistake. It looks horrible, right? Like you could tell, like, oh, they had to redo it, and they show you the bloopers at the end of his movies and stuff. Like when he misses his mark, he doesn't jump over the table the right way or whatever, right? It looks like a mistake. But Bruce Lee, his so-called mistakes just look like another scene that's part of his beast ass fight scene or something. You would never notice unless somebody told you. You wouldn't know.
Okay.
All right. D. Scott says, have you guys talked about more MCU movies delays in the new title for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage?
Oh yeah,
I saw that little clip for Let There Be Carnage. I want to see the movie, but until this thing gets a definite end date for it, and it being the crisis, I don't foresee us seeing no movies no time soon. And it's going to continue to delay, in my opinion. If I were in that business, I would delay to the next summer, because according to everything I've read and heard, extreme heat in summertime is going to definitely hurt this thing. So I hope there's some truth to that. If there's some truth to that, then I hope we have a lot of 100+ days this summer, and it knocks these numbers back down. But I don't know. I definitely think, well, It's not. It's not. It's already been pushed back from October. It was the
Uh-huh.
last movie that I'm aware of that was still had its original date. But I don't foresee this being seen anytime this year. So I would start if I were in the movie business. I'd start trying to find dates for next year, next summer in particular, because it's also being said that in the next flu and cold season, which will be here in October through February, this thing's supposed to rear its ugly head again. So I don't know. It's a lot of
Well,
wait and see again.
well, let's see. Wonder Woman changed its date, but it's still coming out in August. And if it holds that, I'm going to the theater. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. And if it holds that date, humans will show up because every time I look up on the news, you have sound-minded humans that are like, we want to go outside. Like that's why like anytime that they open beaches and shit, like humans are going, they're tired of being cooped up. They want to do shit. I mean, you have a lot that are scared and shit, but like there are some humans that want to do stuff. So as soon as you tell them that you're gonna open the theaters, while there will still be some humans like, nah, it's too early. You're gonna have individuals like me, and I'm not by myself. They're like, what'd you say? The theater's open. Wonder Woman's playing. Get my fucking mask, and we go into the fucking theater. That's the end of it. Period. So and then the ones that gonna stay at home, we gonna be like, hey, yo, Wonder Woman was dope. They're gonna be all right, man. Let me get my mask and shit. I wasn't gonna go at first, but since it's like that, I know I got me like two masks in the drawer. I'll put them both on. Let's go. Fuck this
Mm.
shit. So something that's coming out in October, I'm like, man, unless unless I hear by July 1st that like I don't know 20,000 humans died around the world, they shouldn't move it from October. That's very far away. Like like I said, unless you get like July, August, and there's still problems, October is so safe. I mean, Warner Brothers. Until we hear otherwise, it ain't gonna surprise me if it does happen. But they are maintaining that August date until further notice. So they feel confident that it's gonna be done by the summer. A lot of people feel the same about that, but they definitely don't see it going into next year, which is why a lot of movies have been pushed to next year, including Fast 9, which I already bought my fucking ticket for that movie. But yeah, so we shall see. But like my mom and my dad, they are like, oh, they are some of the most ridiculous humans about this fucking crisis. It's getting irritating. I'm like, look, you can feel how you want, but as soon as you start pushing your fucking fears on me, then that's when it gets irritating. I'm not gonna feel like you. I don't give a shit. I want to go to the fucking theater. So I'm like, you deal with you, but don't be trying to convince me to be fucking afraid of your shit. I'm like, nah, fuck all that. So that's the part I don't like. I'm like, you do what you gotta do for you. But as soon as you try to tell me what to do and try to get me to feel something I'm not feeling, that's when you start venturing into the whole, you might start pissing me off. Calm down, back the fuck up. I'm going to the theater, especially if they open the shit. Period. It's simple. It's nothing to think about.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm just not sure if they're going to open everything up right now because I'm hearing reports that it's going to go into next year. Um, so I have a feeling that the movies are just going to keep getting pushed back. And I mean, again, I have no issues with that too because even if things were to open up, half of these people out here aren't working. So they're not going to be having enough money to go see 3 or 4 movies in a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to pick and choose which ones they want to see.
I'm just going to go to
Exactly.
the next topic because I am so far away from what Terrence just said that if he was to build the biggest microscope on the planet, he couldn't see my opinion. So we definitely going to agree.
Danny,
We go.
but I already know
Uh,
your opinion though, right?
yeah.
And I do respect your opinion. Like you've already specifically told me that you have an underlying condition. That's fine, and I don't want nothing to happen to you. And I would probably be like, Danny, you gotta stay at home, man. Take the bullet, but I'll go see Wonder Woman for the both of us. Like that's how I would do it, right?
It ain't even that serious, bro.
That is it. Danny, I understand. Like somebody's health is on the line. They're gonna say it's not that serious, and I
I'm
understand
sure
that, right?
your parents' health they in that zone because usually people over 60 underlying disease or not are at risk.
But no,
It's
you're
not.
right though. My mom, she has like the chronic lung disease and stuff. I
Oh
get it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but my dad, he's like I don't know, 60, 61. And again, humans can make their own choices, right? That's fine. I'm not against that. I just think that number one, humans are panicking too much. That's why they're buying up all the toilet paper. Like if this pandemic has taught anyone anything, it has revealed the paranoia and the weakness of the human species that at the first sign of trouble, they panic, which is something you're not supposed to do. You're never supposed to panic. I don't
Not
care
supposed
what's
to
going
panic,
on.
but no matter how brave you are, you supposed to that's supposed to be tempered with common sense and good decision making.
Yeah,
I don't
that's very true. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if they open it, then we can go, because then that means that there's a confidence there,
okay,
right?
but
Like
no, there is a saying that just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something.
that's very true, and that is a saying that is derived from fear and not common sense, if I'm going to be honest. But on the flip side, Danny, all I'm saying is that this stuff is going to eventually blow over. It's not going to last forever, but a lot of humans are making it sound like it will, which feed into the negativity of the human species. That's what they like to do. I'm like, hey, so y'all going to be ready in 3 months? I'm like, no, people are dying. Are you going to be ready? All right, look, I'm going outside. Like I like they not being positive. You know, they even got all this stuff on the news and be stay alone together.
I, I'm positive. I am quite positive. I hope they find something for this shit because I don't want to be cooped up like I am, but the alternative is not better than me saying fuck it. I'm gonna trust and hope and pray that I don't come in contact with somebody. No, if I come in contact with this sucker, it's gonna have to like now cooks like to say, I'll make you work. If you want to catch me, you're gonna have to do your job. So if that virus want to get me, it's gonna have to do its job. It's gonna have to penetrate my house, the soap that I use, the hand sanitizer, all that stuff, all my precautions. Then it must be just my time. But I ain't trying to force the issue. That's all I'm.
He-
If
well,
you
here's the
want to
thing,
force
Danny.
the
You're gonna be
issue,
safe. You're gonna be safe because you have me, Danny. I will protect you. You don't have
okay,
to worry about anything.
all
And
right.
and number two, Danny. You know, if we gonna be serious, look, I think like I don't know about this whole uh like humans like to say stuff like when it's my time, right? I'm like, well, that makes it sound like there's a date, right? But I'm like, okay, so say if somebody was supposed to die on July 1st, right? Like if I just roll up on them and just like hit them with my car and flatten them, I guess they didn't make it to July 1st, right?
No, no, no,
Like
no.
it
This
just
this is what I'm saying. If you are a believer, and there's some people who aren't, but that's your prerogative. If you are a believer, then it says in the book that no man knows the date or time except him, the Lord. So I'm saying if it's your time, and if that, and let's just say for the sake of argument's sake, that is the Bible is the ultimate thing, and you believe that, then you can't speed up your time because when you were born, God said, "Okay, Danny, you're gonna die on blah 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 blah, Terrence, blah 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 blah." If that's what you believe, and now if you don't believe in it, and you believe in the Big Bang Theory, or you believe in evolution, then there's different thoughts and philosophies. So I don't know what people that believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory, I don't know what they believe or don't believe. I'm just telling you what I believe and what I've
and
been taught. That's
and
all.
here's
I can only speak from my point of view.
and here's the thing. I definitely do believe I am very much against the Bible because I think it was written by humans, so I don't entertain what's in there. But I'm like, definitely God and Jesus. But until I
Mhm.
hear them say certain things, I'm not going to act like they're talking when I know for sure that a human wrote the book. That's not what I'm not going to do that, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, look, I don't know about certain things for sure. Like I can't say with 100% that like I know for sure that humans are going to die, right? But not so much necessarily that they have a date. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And I think that humans should,
So
they
you
should.
so you believe it can be extended, that the date can be extended or shortened.
Well, here's the thing. Uh, yes, in this sense. Look, in the terms of it being shortened, like I just said, like life has different factors. That's why I
Hmm.
brought up the whole like, say the person was supposed to die July 1st.
Hmm.
That kind of goes out the window if somebody gets in their car and decides to run you over, and you get killed like I don't know, March. 19th. It's like you might have gotten to that, but see, there is something called free will, and a person can choose to be in situations that can have consequences that could lead to certain things, or the human could, you know, take their own life or something, which would speed up the date where they're supposed to expire. There's too many factors to just settle on it's meant to be a certain date without knowing. So I'm only like, you know, introducing logic into this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and I
Um,
agree with what you're saying, Terrence. But at the same time, if like you're walking down the street, like let's say, like you said, it was July 21st, and you're walking down the street and you get killed, then July 21st wasn't your date. Because what are the chances that you happen to be walking out on the street at the same time that that person decides he wants to kill somebody? You know what I mean?
I knew you were gonna say that because that is always the argument. And my response to that will be this: it's easy to equate something to magic or something divine because there's no explanation for it, right? That's always the go-to. But at the same time, life is not that simple. There are variables, there are coincidences, there are causes and effects that lead to one thing or another. You know, like it's not always, oh, it has to be this or that because you can't explain it. Or if someone gives you an explanation that the human blatantly tries to reject it because they stand on their beliefs, which in turn would show that they're biased and they would never, under any circumstances, entertain anything else because their mind has already been programmed, right? That's kind of
Mhm.
what Morpheus was talking about in the Matrix. That this is the human condition is very programmable, right? Like what a person knows, they're either taught or they learn it on their own. Usually with religion, it is introduced by somebody that raises you, and that really is your thing. You do have the ones where they kind of uh, like seek out their own stuff,
Mhm.
but most of the time they got it from someone else. So that's their foundation. They feel very strongly about that, but there's a reason as to why it's called faith and not facts. Faith is the idea that you are, you know, believing in something that you cannot see and that you cannot prove. Facts is something like where I tell you, hey, the grass can be green, and I go outside and force you to look at something where you see green grass. That's facts. It can't be disputed. But faith can be disputed. That's why you have different faith. That's why you have conversations. I mean, it can happen, but you know, these conversations are not meant to, at least not for me. I ain't gonna speak for humans because humans be on some bullshit. But like, but for me, it's never to change someone's mind, but it's to show them that there are other sides to that cube. If you're always standing in front of the cube, you cannot see the other sides. You would have to kind of be in a position to where you can see the entire cube. And once you can see the entire cube, I feel like in that instance is when said human can make up their mind in terms of what is and what isn't. So that's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
Very good points. Um, we got a lot of questions, so I'm gonna try and go through these fairly quickly. Johnny Xbox says they might kill him on Black Panther 2 because they don't have no more heart-shaped herbs. It appeared that Killmonger had all of them destroyed, but I think that maybe there was some somewhere else. I just find it hard to believe that all of them's gone and he's gonna be the last one in the line. I know in the comic books, um, they lost the heart-shaped herb, I think, at one point, and then some kind of god gave him his powers, some kind of
Yes.
panther god or something.
Yes. Perfect.
So,
Perfect. Perfect call out, Danny. I was just about to say that if you didn't say that.
so I don't know if they're going to go and devil into that. I'm quite sure that if T'Challa can go back into the realm with the other Black Panthers, they may be able to tell him some another remedy or tell him where something else is at. I don't think that's going to be the last heart shaped herb. Maybe not on this particular, not on Black Panther 2. Maybe they're going to go that storyline, but I know in one of the storylines he loses his power, and then the Panther God grants him his power, and I think he have even more powers with once that deity grants him his powers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And okay, you got the comic book stuff, but in the context of the MCU, it was implied that they gave Black Panther the last one, which saved his life because he would have been dead as fuck. Like that is definitely a situation where the hero needed help because he was defeated by Killmonger. Killmonger fucked his ass up and tossed him off a mountain. With no help, he would have died. M'Baku had to save him, and then T'Challa's family had to bring him the heart-shaped herb. Like it was a whole process to save Black Panther. Like that's facts. But if that's the case, okay, he has the last heart-shaped herb. He's going to be good for a while anyway, to where that doesn't really need to be a conversation. But for whatever reason, if it wears off or whatever, then there are other means as to how he can continue. The Black Panther lore, each person that has been Black Panther, they have been imbued with the knowledge of the other Black Panthers before them, whether that be that they've been actual Black Panthers or they've been the kings of Wakanda. And then the Panther God thing allows them to, gather power without using a particular herb because you're being imbued powers from a deity. They sometimes they look at it as an entity, but for all intents and purposes, a being that can give you power. So you would now get a bigger power boost than you had before, and it is something that they can use. That's no more ridiculous than a talking tree and raccoon. So I highly doubt that Kevin Feige is sitting there going, well, we can't introduce that because the audience won't accept it. I'd be like, there's no way he would ever say that. But if we were to entertain that for 5 seconds, I can tell you how that makes no fucking sense. I'm like, first of all, I don't care what you do in the MCU. Like, you can do a bunch of silly ass race swapping and gender swapping and put all the messages you want in there that is stupid and they shouldn't do it. But even if they do that, because it's Marvel Studios, unless they come out with 5 films back to back that are just completely atrocious, people are gonna go see it just out of curiosity. The trust is there in the brand, right? Like even if you get a film where they're like, I didn't care for this one, they're still gonna go watch the next one because maybe they may like the next one, or that next one may feature a character that they like. Contrary to popular belief, not everybody watches all of the MCU movies. In fact, I know a bunch of people that haven't seen all of them. I have a friend, if it don't have Iron Man in it, he's not watching it. You know what I'm saying? I got a friend where Cap is his boy. If Captain America's not in it, he's not watching it. I have another friend where he likes the Avengers, the team, right? If it's not an Avengers movie, he doesn't care as much. Like, he'll probably still watch it, but it's not really a priority. Like, he likes the Avengers team because he likes the Avengers comics, right? So I got another boy, if it ain't got nothing to do with X-Men, he don't care. X-Men is his thing. Like, so basically what Fox was doing, he was all over that shit. The stuff that Kevin Feige was doing, he gave no shits about it until it had Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, right? Because, technically, I mean, they're not really Magneto's kids. It was believed for a long time that they were, but that's already been forwarded in the comics. So yeah.
Has it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like those are not his kids. Like, he thought those were his kids. Their real parents were revealed in one of the X-Men comic books. Like, I forgot the name of their actual parents, but yes, it is another man and another woman. It's not Magneto.
And I'm just saying, like, even if they do, like, they decide to make Black Panther's sister get the powers of the Black Panther, they have to find a way to do it. So I don't think those heart-shaped things are done yet.
Right, and two, Shuri at this moment, like, she's not really combat efficient. Like, I think that, like, out of all the females that I know, right, man, they can't fight to save their life. I'm sure Shuri would beat the piss out of all of them, right? But when you compare her to, say, her brother or Bucky or Cap or Black Widow, someone that can actually fight, she's not on their level. What would best serve her in those situations is her using her superior intelligence to outsmart them, to beat them, to lure them places, or to implement some kind of technology to disable her opponents. Because I mean, if you're fighting with comic book characters, it don't matter if you use a punch or I press a button and you fall in a vat of acid, you still fucking lose. It's just that simple. So Shuri can do that. So I think that by the time they make her a Black Panther, we will see the progression of her character. Not only is she getting smarter, but she's becoming more physically a threat. So they would show that kind of stuff because that is a progression. I don't think that they would just go, hey, women empowerment, Shuri's Black Panther, fuck T'Challa, just out of nowhere. I don't. That'd be the dumbest shit. Because I'm like, where's the transition? Like, you mean to tell me we went to see Black Panther 2, and then we get Namor the Submariner, and he shows up in Wakanda. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna mess this shit up, yeah, and I'm the first mutant, yeah, and all this stuff. And then T'Challa's gonna be like, Shuri, I think it's time for you to take up the mantle. I'm like, based off of what, T'Challa? Like you like you. So you gonna put your sister up against the Submariner? You don't think she should get like a weaker opponent starting off? You just gonna throw her right to the Submariner? I'd be like, man, that'd be the most fucked up shit I didn't see. That'd be like some Goku shit when he told his son Gohan to go up against Cell. I'm like, man, what kind of shit? No.
Yeah, I just watched that a few days ago. That was kind of crazy, but Goku knew what the hell he was doing. Hey, are you moderators on this? I thought I made y'all two moderators.
I am.
Are you a moderator?
Goku,
I am, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, you're right, Danny. Goku knew what he was doing, but it's still messed up because I'm like, look, man, you went in there, you quit against Cell. If there was like a 10% chance that you were wrong, your son and everybody on Earth would have died. In fact, there was a moment in that fight where Gohan, after he had became all beast, he was getting worn down. The Z fighters had to distract Cell for him to finish Cell off. You remember that, Danny?
Yeah.
So what if that didn't happen? It could be implied that Gohan would have died or been knocked out or something.
They had a bag full of damn sensu beans too.
Yep. There you go. So I'm like Goku, man. Sometimes in life, man, you gotta like work together and not just toss your son to the lions. Like,
I got you. This next thing is Danny. Who are your top 5 Dragon Ball Super characters? Off the top of my head, I'm gonna say my number 5 is Hit. Number 4 is Piccolo. Number 3 is Whis. 2 is Goku, and 1 is, of course, Vegeta. So those who I like. Vegeta will always be my number 1 character. I haven't seen anybody that will ever knock him off of that title, that ranking.
Let's see. Top 5 Dragon Ball Super characters. Let's see. Vegeta be my favorite through and through. Like, I would probably have to think about it some more. Like, there's some other characters that have come close, but not so much where I'm like, man, I like you way more than Vegeta. That hasn't happened yet. But let's see. Of course, Vegeta. Jiren. Jiren is my boy. Jiren was close. Jiren is probably the closest character in Dragon Ball Super. I was like, man, you kind of up there with my boy Vegeta, man. Like, just because I like how he fights and I like his demeanor. Like, for me, demeanor is a big thing. Like, if I were going to open my own dojo and train a bunch of humans, so many humans would be turned away based off of their demeanor and how they think. They would have to exit stage left, get the fuck out.
Other than Vegeta, as far as the coldest demeanor, I thought that was Hit. Man, Hit was definitely, he definitely had that demeanor. I like Hit a lot too. Like, I guess he'd be in there. So it'd be like Vegeta. He had that long
Jiren.
trench coat, boy, and the little crazy stance and shit. Next thing you know, man, your ass was tapping.
Right.
I've had enough.
So let's see, Vegeta, Jiren, Hit, Whis for sure. Like, cause Whis is
We used to be talking shit to you while he whipping your ass.
Right. Well, I mean, I already knew number one. I was like, he's crazy powerful because he's watching over Beerus. That's like, you're not gonna be no chump if you're in a position to get Beerus to reconsider if he even thought for the slightest moment that he was gonna backhand you. So I'm like, okay, he's stupid powerful. And then when he was blocking Goku and Vegeta's hits with one index finger while they were Super Saiyan Blue with one hand tied behind his back, I'm like, they will never catch him. That is ridiculous. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's like that level of power when no matter how much a character improves, you still have to go. You're never going to be as good as him because he
But
was not trying when you were at your best level.
but can you
That's an
wrap your
interesting
mind
thing.
around Goku and Vegeta both having Ultra Instinct and then do a fusion?
Against all, I feel like that still wouldn't be anything to Whis. Like I feel like Whis would at most maybe have to go up to 40% of his power. Like put it in the factor of like how Beerus dealt with Goku. You know how he was at like 30%, 50%, then 70%, and Beerus never went 100%. He was able to handle Goku, and Whis is infinitely stronger than Beerus. So I'm just like, nah, they're gonna be in trouble. Like until I see Whis like struggle against anybody, and then you would have to factor in how powerful that person is. Like until that happens, I'm like they're not even touching that. Then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
Whis, like, and then it was also implied that Whis' father was stronger than he was, which I'm like, okay, look, like Whis is already ridiculous. For you to tell me that someone is stronger than he is, which is his father, I'm like, you might as well kill yourself. Like the only person that could beat those two would be Zeno, but it's not so much that he's really beaten them; he just kind of blinked them out of existence, right? So you for all intents and purposes have avoided a fight. To me, that's like me walking up to somebody, I'm getting ready to whoop their ass, and they just shoot me in the head with a gun. I'm like, sure, you beat me, but we didn't fight. You just shot me. Like, I mean, a number of people can do that. I mean, even like the worst shot in the world could get lucky and shoot me in the head, but that's not really a fight, though.
Yeah, you're right. Man said she needs you on Twitter, Terrence, about a Batman discussion.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Um, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like Twitter, Facebook, Twitch book, or whatever that other stuff is. I'm like, nah. Nope.
They've already killed Tony Stark. How much more can they kick me in the face? I just think that's a rumor. What is it? Fortin Barber? Fortin Barber? I think that's just rumor, boss. But the fact that I had this kind of channel and it made news is the only reason why I'm bringing it. Do I believe anything about Black Panther not coming back? I won't believe it unless I hear it come straight from his mouth or from Kevin Feige's mouth.
Um,
If I don't hear it from them two, I don't believe it.
okay. See,
Mhm.
see that's why with Kevin Feige in his interviews, I pay attention to his mannerisms. And a lot of times when people ask him questions, whether it be interviewers or fans, he has this thing that he does where he smiles at them because he knows more than they know in terms of what he's gonna do. And when they approach him with, "Oh, that was so bad," and how can you outdo? Like Kevin's like, "You have no idea. You think Tony's death was something? Oh, please, man. Once they get into these later phases, that's gonna be like one of those lower tiers. Like, man, at first I was like the worst thing because, but nah, there's way worse things that can happen, and that will happen. They ain't seen nothing yet. Get ready. Like all that Thanos stuff, it was bad, but there's a lot more stuff out there that's way worse than him. Like Thanos is nice in comparison to some of those Marvel villains, like the Beyonder that just wants to have people murder themselves because he thinks it's funny. They ain't seen nothing yet.
Mhm.
Fortin Barber said because Gohan ended up, well, he said, first he said Goku was the world's worst father. Then he followed up by saying, because Gohan ended up with piss poor treatment in Super, he may as well die against Cell. I disagree with that. Put my son out there in harm's way, I agree with you, and I wouldn't have done that unless I knew for certain my son was going to step up to it, which Goku said he saw what he could do in the hyperbolic chamber. But if you remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terrence, Gohan didn't do all that training that Goku and Vegeta did after that, the Cell games. He kind of went to his own life, did that Saiyaman crap for a few years, whatever. But he really didn't train, not even with Piccolo, so to speak. But three people that you can depend on that's going to always train is Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta. They're always training, trying to improve.
Oh,
But Piccolo can never catch them. I mean, no matter how hard he try, unless he resurrects the eternal dragon and asks for power that way, I don't care how much he trained, he's never going to catch Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah, see, and here's the thing, Danny. With see, this is just a scenario because this is not gonna happen. But let's say I had a bunch of kids and stuff, and for all intents and purposes, I've decided to be with a female like Chi Chi. That would also never happen. Because while I respect her ability to kick ass, her personality is a turnoff. We would not spend more than 24 hours together. Anyways, so naturally, I would want my son and daughter, whatever, to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would want them to have strong minds. I would want them to walk with a certain posture. You don't let none of these humans come at you dirty. Like, we're not going to have no weakness in this house. But if they decide to be something else, that's fine. I'm not saying to be a dictatorship, but I let them know, like, hey, as soon as you give me the word that you want to be a beast, daddy will help you in a way that you can't get from anybody else. Because you can step out of this house and find martial artists that are better than me, sure. But the mental shit that I can teach you, go try to find that shit. Guarantee you're not going to be able to find it. Highly unlikely. You're going to have to search really, really hard. It's not going to be as easy as driving around the corner and you got a karate school right there. It's not going to be as easy as that. So, you know, naturally with Goku, him being a martial artist, right? He's like, he wanted his son, Gohan and Goten, to do the same thing. Now, Chi-Chi was big on, you got to go to school, go to college, right, Danny?
Yep.
And then she says stuff like this a lot. You're not going to be no martial arts bum like your father. You're going to go to school. So I was like, Chi-Chi, first of all, this martial arts bum
You
saved
saved the
planet.
damn earth.
Yeah, him and his martial arts bum friends have saved the earth to where you get to sit in your kitchen and bitch at this man because he saved the planet. You get to send your precious son to some college because the planet still exists. What difference does that shit make if you ain't got that shit to go to? There ain't no planet or no school. So that's why, to me, Chi-Chi, she doesn't think before she speaks. She just wants it her way, and she doesn't
I
take
think whoever writes that just like comic relief.
I know.
They don't even.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
I got you. I understand
but
what you're
like,
saying.
but see, like you said though, Goku wouldn't have put his son in that situation if he didn't think he could do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, uh, if I were to put myself in there, would I send my son to fight a monster? Now, I'm not gonna look at this like how a lot of humans would, like they're like, my son, my daughter, oh no, like that will never be me. I feel like if I even sounded like that for 1 second, a different Terrence from a different timeline would come and kill me because that'd be unacceptable for me to act like that. Like
Man,
so
you
yeah,
can't
it'd
say
be
that until
like
you get kids, Bo.
no, I know, trust me. So I would just be like, look, if I think my son can beat the monster, and I know that I can't see, I don't have a hard time admitting that I can't do stuff. If I'm not as smart as someone, I'll say that. If I'm not as fast, if I can't beat someone up in a fight, I will say that. I don't have an ego problem like most humans do, to where they can't admit that they're wrong and can't admit that people are better than them. I don't have that problem. So if my son is the key to saving us all, not only would I let him do it, but I would be super proud. I'd be like, my son has eclipsed me in 1 day in terms of badassery level. I couldn't have had a better son. I'd be so fucking proud. Like, it just him walking out to the field, even if he were to die, which of course would piss me off. But it's like the fact that he was able to do that, and he just had balls for days. He was like, man, forget this monster. My daddy taught me how to be a beast. That would just be a satisfying moment in the way that I saw from Goku. Goku looked very satisfied, man. He had that Goku smile and shit. Like, that's my son out there fighting Cell. You know, while Chi Chi in the background, like, no, get Gohan out of there. Oh my God. And Goku, like, honey, he got this. Look at him. Look how he's standing. Look at the hair and stuff. He got the lightning and shit. He gonna be fine.
Yeah, he was
So
hell
yeah.
in that one. Though. He was hell. Johnny Xbox said, I believe they're getting ready to show the young Avengers in the MCU. They already got Hawkeye daughter, Spider-Man, Ant-Man's daughter, Scarlet Witch kids might be on the Team Wiccan and Speed. I don't know, and better yet, I don't care. I don't care nothing about no Young Avengers. I didn't read the comic books. If it comes to live stream, I'll probably watch it because that's what I do on this channel. I critique and
Right.
tell you my opinion. But right now, am I like, damn, I'm ready for Young Avengers? I heard so many people say that. I don't give a damn about Young Avengers. At this point, what I'm most ready to see, I want to see Doctor Strange 2, what I'm most excited for, and Black Panther 2, and What If. And I'm curious about um, Falcon and Winter Soldier. But there's other stuff. I'm not overly excited about Eternals. I'm not overly excited about Shang Chi. I think it'll be good. Um, it'll probably make $1 billion, but
I I
and,
feel like I
I'm
could.
really excited about Venom 2.
Okay, like Jason, like how, before I get into this, because I gotta tackle all that shit.
Yeah, I
So
know you do.
you say how you feel about Young Avengers, because
I'm like Danny, I could care less. You know what I mean? I just want them to do Galactus right in the next phase. You know what I mean? Whatever they do after that, if they give me a good clip or preview that has me saying, okay, that looks good, then I'll be excited for it. But other than that,
Yeah,
I,
it's too much stuff that people throwing at us. You can't get excited about all that kind of stuff. You got to see which is the closest one. Now, when I saw Morbius, I was excited because I was like, man, that like it might be on point. I'm hoping that Blade will be all right, but it's too far away. I believe the actor can pull off the acting part, but I got to see whether or not he can pull off that martial arts because that's what Blade. That's what he hangs his hat on, his martial arts, and it's going to be hard pressed to fill Wesley Snipes' shoes with someone that's not a natural martial artist, in my opinion.
Wait, oh man, that's a lot of fronts to take.
You got to tackle them all. I mean, we just saying stuff that how we feel. It ain't gonna be everything we say. You got to tackle this. The main question was, I don't know nothing about no Wiccan, no speed. I don't care nothing about that shit.
Well, okay, in terms of the Young Avengers, right? Like, I don't care about them as much as the Avengers, but because it's Marvel, there's some excitement there, obviously, and also because they deal with Kang the Conqueror, you know, who's connected to Reed Richards. I'm like, that's another thing too. Like, now I'm telling you, like, the more you know about these characters, when you hear certain titles and shit, it's like the possibilities and shit is just jumping in my head. I'm like, that could be dope as hell if they do it right. But yeah, so you know, I'm interested to see who they're gonna have them fight. I hope it's Kang. Like it's gotta, you can integrate him with the Fantastic Four. Like you gotta do Kang, damn it, Feige, you gotta do Kang. I know you know who that is. If you don't, you should fire yourself. But yeah, so um, and then Shang-Chi, you said uh, let's see, due to the fact that the Chinese individuals want to, you know, kind of get out and about, and they said that they want to be able to go to restaurants and theaters. I think that alone guarantees that Shang-Chi makes $1 billion. On top of it being a main Chinese actor in a martial arts movie that for all intents and purposes seems like Marvel's version of Enter the Dragon / Mortal Kombat. Just saying. Um, and people that like martial arts movies, I feel like there's no way they're gonna sit there and be like, I ain't checking out Shang-Chi. That ain't gonna happen. I'm like, if you've seen any martial arts movie, Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi is what you should be most excited about. Like just from a fighting standpoint, I feel, you know, the fight scenes be off the hook and shit. But and then in terms of Blade, I'm pretty sure the film's gonna be good. And I don't think for like 1 second that he has to fill the shoes of Wesley. He just needs to be good because you can't fill the shoes. That's the thing. That's why I don't like that expression because you can't do it. You can never fill someone else's shoes. It can never happen. The best thing you can do is be good. That's all you can do is be yourself. Because the last thing I would want is, I don't know, let's say they had me be Blade, right? Now, this would be a great compliment. Let's say if everybody was like, man, you like good as Wesley Snipes. I would turn that down by nah. I appreciate that, but nah. But so But what I would want to hear is, man, I'm glad they picked you as a new Blade. I want to see you do more. That's the best thing you can hear, because then that shows that they embraced you as that character. Not so much that they think you're better or on the same level as that other person, but they want to see you now. You're the new guy on the block. They want to see you. That's what you
Hey,
need.
hey, Terrence, how much you weigh now?
Right now, 217.
You need to get down to about 185 and grow your afro back, and you can play Afro Samurai.
I've heard that before. Playing that character. So I gotta drop a bunch of weight, huh? Well, he is a
Well,
smaller
he was
fellow.
skinny,
So
man. He was hell though, boy.
well, yeah, I would have to drop down to like probably 160.
Maybe
Like,
maybe Tremaine could be your what's that little thing? That was his inner spirit. That wasn't really nothing that really
yeah.
that could be his
Damn.
voice.
Right. Yeah.
People thought that guy was real, man, but that was in his head.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it was fake because it was too ridiculous and like
Yeah.
nobody else noticed him, and he was just saying the most outlandish shit, like Afro, he got a damn gun and shit. Like I'm like, nobody gonna respond to this crazy dude. Like,
That was Samuel Jackson, and Afro Samurai was played by the guy that played on Sons of Anarchy. What's his name? Damn.
I thought Samuel Jackson did both voices. Like he had a
Samuel Jackson was a crazy thing. The other guy was played by
yeah.
the Afro Samurai was played by a white guy. The guy that
Okay, yeah.
played
I thought it was just him
Vincent
doing
on Beauty
lower
and the
tone
Beast.
voice.
What?
Oh, yeah?
I cannot think of his fucking name. That's driving me crazy.
But yeah,
Ron Perlman.
Really? Because
Ron Perlman, look it up. Ron Perlman is the voice of Afro Samurai.
Oh. Yeah, because I definitely thought it was Sam doing both. Like,
yeah,
me too.
It sounds like it, but it's Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is Afro.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Afro didn't talk much in that show, anyways. You know what I mean?
No, he had a I think Ninja is the crazy one's name, but like, he had more talking than Afro, because Afro was just like, he just had an objective and that's really it. And his movement throughout the story was able to tell the story, which is, you have to get a certain writer for that, because if you're not careful with that, the character can come across as stale. So you would have to get a capable writer to be able to tell a good story with a character that doesn't talk that much. So I think they found the right writers and shit, and then
for sure.
Their interaction with RZA, who, I feel like if I can ever speak to the RZA, I would like to speak to the other Wu-Tang Clan members, but if I can ever speak to RZA, I feel like we could easily do 10 hours of just talking about martial arts history. Like, we could start with the actual styles and then go into the movies and our favorite fight scenes and all that shit. That'd be an excellent conversation.
Because they fucking grew up on that shit, you know? They grew up on that shit.
That is definitely what we have in common there. And like, when I heard their music and they were making martial arts references and they had the different martial arts samples from like the 36 chambers of Shaolin and shit, I was like, man, the 5 deadly venoms. I was like, man, I didn't seen all this shit many times. Like, hell yeah. Like,
did you see their biopic?
That bio show? No, I didn't watch that. I saw their 5-part documentary, like Wu-Tang of Mics and Men.
Yeah, seen that
where
too.
they covered their whole life. Like the one where the people, it's like a bio type show. I saw the trailer for it and I was like, I just saw like the 5-part documentary. I'm like, you're not gonna do better than that.
Oh no, it's good, man.
I might have got that wrong, man. They're saying that Samuel Jackson played it. I could have sworn I read Ron Perlman played that.
That's why I was like, my brain was like killing itself, Danny. I was like, I could have sworn that he had did both, but then when you said that, I'm like, are you sure?
I'm looking it up. I like to be right. I know Ron Perlman was in it. I'm trying to say, who the fuck did he play? I thought he played Afro.
Right. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's just I could have sworn that. But but yeah. So uh, yeah. What I won't do is this, like, because I've had different humans go like, well, how would you feel about playing this character, that character? To a lot of them, I said no because the characters are not black. Like they wanted me to play like various white characters. I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. Not gonna happen. They're like, what if the project is really good? I'm like, no, not gonna happen. I'm like, I'd be like, look,
Shit, man. If somebody come to me and say, Danny, you're gonna give you a shot, you're gonna be the Black Magneto. I'd be like, man, where my damn helmet and cape at? Hell, if I won't play that.
no, hell no. I would not do that. Because like
I'll be having all kind of magnet shit.
see, because they might be like, we're gonna pay. I'm like, I don't care about the money. Like to me, being part of the project, me being part of the project is good enough. I mean, of course, I can use money, but money is not my driving force.
We're gonna pay you $10 million to be the new Black Superman. Shit, I'll be hitting the gym like crazy tomorrow.
Okay, but see, that's different though, because there has been a Black Superman, but it can't be. It should not be a Black Superman called Kal-El, Clark Kent. It should be the one that's based in a completely different universe.
I don't care if he Kal-El, Negro, whatever. If they pay me $10 million, he can call me whatever he wants.
I know that's what you would do, Danny. But I'm just saying, like, if they were to put that in front of me, because number one, I have a lot of passion and I have more knowledge than they do, more than likely about the shit that they're pitching to me. So I'd be like, first of all,
you can do it right.
Right. And I'd be like, look, why don't you have me play the Black Superman that's inspired from Barack Obama when he was president? You guys know that's a thing, right? Oh, you don't? Well, you don't have to do race swapping when something already fucking exists. That's exactly what you want me to do. You know, then I just would make them look stupid in front of everybody. I'm like, until you do that, I'm walking out of this office because I'm not playing a Black Kal-El. That's the dumbest shit you can do. I'm like, first of all, people have been waiting on Man of Steel 2. And not only are you not going to give it to them, but you're going to make him fucking black. I'm like, are you? I'd be like, Warner Brothers, I'm walking out. I'm done.
Brother of Steel 1 sounds pretty good to me.
Wow. No.
And
No. Hell no. Nope. Can't do it. That sounds like that's gonna be like a porn parody. It's gonna be on like that black website, Brother of Steel 1. That's what that sounds like. But like
sounds like the remake to Blank Man.
Exactly.
Meteor Man, you know?
Yeah, that's what it sounds. It sounds like a parody or a porn parody. That's what it sounds like. Speaking of porn parodies,
they asked you to reboot Steel, you wouldn't do it?
Well, yeah, Steel is a black character.
I know. I'm just asking though.
Yeah, well,
you know that movie is never brought up in like the top worst movies ever. Like DC just forgot about that movie.
Yeah, they had to.
They didn't forget about it because they be showing that on TV a lot. So like I don't think they forgot.
In years,
man, still be coming on. Like the best time you're gonna find still on randomly is gonna be early in the morning when everybody is asleep. It's gonna be like on the most oddest fucking channel. It's gonna be a channel about how they serve teapots and shit, and still is coming on at like 4 a.m. You're like, what does this have to do with the channel? Like that's where they air still. It'd be the most randomest shit. But like, well, here's the thing. It depends on the script, right? Like you can't, it's not enough to go, here's the money, or here, you can do this. Like I have to pay attention to the project because my approach would be, would I enjoy this from a fan perspective? Because it's easy for me to go, ooh, money, I'll play anything. No, I'm not doing that. I'm like, no, I want to see something good, you know, and it would also go into Danny, I am not mad at you, but I'm just saying I'm not gonna do that. Like, cause then
me too, man.
Hey, I'm just saying,
if they came to me and said you have to remake Steel the exact same way that Shaq did it, and you get $10 million, I'd be like, okay, give me the suit. Give me the suit. I'll do it.
I'll be like, here, first of all, I would set the money on fire like the Joker in The Dark Knight, and then I would backhand him with the script. I'm like,
man,
so you didn't learn from
so
the first time.
They give you $10 million. You gonna set it on fire?
Absolutely, because I don't care. Because I don't care about money. Like money.
A Terrence from another dimension should come there and kick your ass for that.
No. The Terrence from the other dimension would come and give me the thumbs up, and then go back to whatever timeline
like,
he's part
what the hell are you doing?
Like, because using the multiverse scenario, there will obviously be, a Terrence of every personality and trait. There will be one that's like Booster Gold, that's a greedy, selfish asshole. I'm very sure of that. But he ain't gonna be around me too long. How about you gonna take your ass back to 2189, where the fuck you came from, because we ain't the same. Well, yeah, we are.
I don't think taking $10 million to do a movie like that is being greedy.
I ain't lying.
I think it's being smart.
No, I'm talking about the Booster Gold Terrence. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Booster Gold Terrence,
him,
Booster Gold could fight, so he might whip you.
Booster Gold can fight, but I'm talking about the person. I'm talking about the personality. Like, if he comes over here and talking about we are the same, we're gonna get into a scrap. He has a serious problem.
He had that little computer thing that float around with him. Whatever
he does,
his name. Zap his ass. Zap his ass.
Okay, here's the thing with Booster Gold that a lot of people don't remember. While he can fight and he has technology, he can definitely beat people like Cable. Like, I had Cable winning that one, but then there was like a factor that I didn't count in. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. But anyway, his personality gets him into a lot of trouble where he underestimates his situation. That's how I could possibly beat him. But if he gets serious, and obviously I would die in 2 seconds, but I can use his personality against him. His personality is his biggest weakness. That's his hugest flaw.
Yeah, he's super arrogant.
Yeah, he can be a dumbass at times, so much so that the Justice League don't fucking like him. Like, whenever he comes around, it's like, what are you going to do this time? Like, are you actually going to help? Or he's always in it for himself. Like, he's a character where he's good, but he's a selfish asshole. He has a lot of the negative human characteristics. I'm like, come on, Booster. Like, so, but yeah.
Let's go through some of these questions, then we can kind of linger. I want to ask. Somebody's gonna wait. What's this other guy said? I think Yamcha's an underrated character. What do you guys think about him? His ass is weak. I hate his punk ass.
What the fuck? Hold on. I think my earphones are messing up. I didn't hear that shit.
Yamcha ass is weak. He's a punk ass. That's what I said.
No. I heard you, but it's just I agree with you, but it's just that question. I'm like, who says that?
I think Yamcha is underrated. Since Yamcha been in it, I don't think his parallel ever got up more than it did before and Nappa got there. I ain't seen him improve hardly any.
Here's what I'll say about Yamcha. His power level does increase as time goes on, but it's on a very small level, right? Like, so the Z fighters, they're different. Like, Tien is much stronger than Yamcha because Tien trains all the time. He even opened up a school where he teaches people. So, for all intents and purposes, whether it be the Z fighters or even Hercule, like, Hercule is considered to be the best human outside of the Z fighters. It's just that he's so silly and he's a liar that it seems like it discredits him, but he has a lot of skills. So basically, me as I am, if you drop me in there, Hercule and Yamcha would murder me. But if you somehow give me a power boost like how they did Yamcha and them and unlock my ultimate potential, then they in trouble. I ain't gonna be able to go with Goku and them, but if they can give me some of that treatment where I get the power boost and shit, oh yeah, Yamcha is the first one to get fucked up by me.
I agree. Barley and Frieza were both pretty amazing in Super movie. Yes, I agree.
I agree.
Man, say, Jason, can you explain the Batman thing to them after? I guess after the show.
Yeah, there was some dude that said Batman never killed.
Okay, you crazy.
What? This again? This is as repetitive as Goku versus Superman. This shit is getting old. Oh my god.
Do you guys think Dragon Ball GT was all that bad? I didn't mind the series besides Goku being a child. I didn't like the fact that Goku was a child. Only good thing I liked about Dragon Ball Z was when he turned to Super Saiyan 4. I like that look. I think it's the most aggressive look out of all of the transformations. 3 and 4 are the most aggressive looks to me. 4, you got little red stuff under the eyes and the black hair and the tail and the red hair. It looked pretty aggressive.
Well, I
And
thought,
the dragons in there were bad. The Shinron dragons were hell too.
Yeah, GT was okay. Like GT to me had moments.
Yes.
And I thought like overall it was very weak, but like the different dragons that he had to fight, they were cool. And then Baby Vegeta was pretty interesting, but like there was a lot of it that just seemed like filler. It didn't really need to
for the
be
whole
there.
series. It's the weakest series, but I'm saying that transformation is the most aggressive looking to me.
Oh yeah, Super Saiyan 4 because look, here's the thing with these characters, like because they have because they're buff, I feel like a lot of stuff that wouldn't look a certain way will look intimidating if you have muscles, right? Like you can essentially wear things and your hair could be a certain color and you're gonna look beast because you're buff. Like in a way, if you just put that on an average person, they look stupid as hell with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like the blonde and the gold, it looks awesome. They kind of look pretty with it and shit. But like when you got the Super Saiyan 4, they look savage. You got the hair on the chest. Like this is kind of the same thing when you got a guy with a beard versus a guy that's clean shaven. It's like the beard, number one, is an obvious indication of high testosterone levels. It's a visual point.
Mm-hmm.
So then you add that with the tail and the hair on the chest, you just look like you've been training in a cave and shit. You know what I'm saying? So like it does give that more savage, combative kind of approach.
Yep, I agree. United Thrive says Chadwick may be doing a Black Samurai movie. I don't know where you get that from. I don't know if that's a hope or a dream.
What?
I ain't mad at it, but I don't. I've never heard of that before. But if he,
Well, I just Googled it, and they actually showed a picture of him looking like he was in the samurai suit.
Black Samurai, as in that movie that Jim Kelly made back in the day? Is that supposed to be a remake of that?
I don't know.
But
don't he got?
okay.
But maybe he mean Afro Samurai. You think he might be doing a live action Afro Samurai? Maybe.
No, I
Nah,
put Black Samurai, but it comes up as yes.
He would have to get down to Gene Kelly
If
weight.
you can see
Gene
this,
Kelly
I
was
put
really
it.
skinny.
Yeah, but no, but see, but first of all, like
Can you
Jim
see
Kelly,
Yeah.
yeah, like but Jim Kelly though, in his prime, is in better shape than Chadwick Boseman has ever been in his entire life. Like Jim Kelly's body was very similar to Bruce Lee, where he was very lean and you could see all the muscles on his body. Chadwick Boseman has never looked like that. Never looked like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Reese said an Iron Lad. What the hell is that? What is that referring to? Give us more iron on Darth Reese. Let's see. Lads say most are too far away at this point. At this point, they need to figure out how to make the movies. Once the trailers come out, then I'll decide if I'm excited or not. Yep, I agree. Too far away.
Well, if they're comic book based, it for me, like I said, there's going to be an automatic level of excitement, and then a trailer will make it more or less than. But I'm still going to go see it by default if it's Marvel or DC. I don't need to see a trailer to go. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go anyways. Me too. But a trailer will make me more excited. Like if I see something in a trailer that's like, oh yeah, okay, now I'm excited. But like I haven't missed a DC movie, Marvel or DC movie in the theaters yet. So.
She said, if we have the same shoe size, I could feel someone else's shoes. Okay. Mr. Warlord said, Corona time. Okay, you going to get a drink? God King Wise say the truth and wise men 23 and Queen Truthful Soul as lows. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, sorry about that. I was gonna say that trailers can definitely get me more excited for sure. But someone like me, you have me no matter what in a way to where you may have to convince others. It's like with Venom 2, right? It's cool that
Mhm.
Carnage is going to be in there, but I didn't like the first Venom. I thought it was fucking trash as a Venom movie. So I think this one will be a little bit better, but I don't know by how much because I don't know what they're going to do with Carnage. If they're going to
I think it's going to be a
make
lot better. I think they learn from their mistakes, and people got to. Well, I'm tired of talking about the Venom thing, so I'm not even going to that. I just think Venom. I think Venom 2 going to be much better.
I think it'll be better, but again, I don't know by how much. I think a trailer will give me a better idea, but then again, I thought the same thing with the Venom trailer. Like not the first two, but like that final one I thought was great. And then I watched the movie and I'm like,
I just
this
think
is
fans are too critical and like it's just like I said, trigonometry. I'm looking for basic math. Venom, Venom.
that is
I'm just
basic.
saying, Venom was a basic math class that I enjoyed. If I went there and trigonometry, and oh man, his tongue is too long. Oh, you don't have the spider web. Oh, I don't
No,
know.
no, I didn't
I'm not saying you. There's other YouTubers that I've heard. Oh,
Mhm.
that's not my Venom.
okay,
Fuck. Really?
okay, but it to me, like I don't know,
See?
but as a comic book movie, I'm like, this is not good. Your villain is terrible, and Venom and Eddie are nothing like their characters at all, except for Venom looks like how he's supposed to look, minus the Spider-Man logo on his chest. But he looked like, and Riot looked like Riot. But again, to me, it's basic stuff. Like if I were to go into the office, it would take me less than 2 minutes to explain to you what you need to do in the movie. It's
You see that
basic
new
shit.
Spider-Man Maximum Carnage, Maximum Venom cartoon? I think it came out this
Uh,
past.
No.
you said it's a new one?
Yeah.
No.
Somehow the professor on there has taken a piece of Venom and taken out all of Venom's aggressiveness, and the host can control it. And he gives it to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man makes a new Venom suit, but it has all the powers, but Spider-Man can control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but see, with the Venom symbiote was supposed to start with Deadpool, then Peter, and then Eddie. But it's like the symbiote feeds off of the host. So since
Yeah.
Eddie Brock is like the kindest dude on the planet, I'm like, of course the Venom symbiote is gonna be like a little nice guy too. It was irritating because Eddie Brock is supposed to be a cancer-ridden, bodybuilder looking. I'm going to shove you as you walk by me because I'm an asshole. He was nothing like that in the movie. I'm like, that's basic shit. That has nothing to do with the symbiote god and all the complex shit that I can get into. That's like again, I can explain that to you in less than 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
for them to come up with what they did, I guarantee you it took them longer to come up with the bullshit that we got in the
It
movie.
did, but you never gonna tell them they're wrong because they made $1 billion. So you
Well,
never.
they didn't make $1 billion. They made a little more than 800 million, right?
I
Like
think
close
Venom.
enough. Venom did
I think,
not make $1 billion. It made a little more than 800 million.
yeah,
So
but
like,
it did, but it was a success for what they paid on the budget. And two, when I seen the clip, I knew we weren't getting the Venom from the comic. I knew we weren't getting that Eddie Brock. So I went in there thinking like, I'm not gonna see what I want to see. I'm not gonna see the real Venom. So I'll just go in there and try and enjoy the movie. And I actually enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it.
that I did the same thing, except I didn't enjoy it because number one, the first hour of the movie was boring. The villain was not a villain; he was just a typical business guy in a suit. The only thing that made him briefly interesting was when Riot took over his body, and that wasn't because of him; it was because of the Riot symbiote. Like that dude, I'm like, that's one of the worst comic book villains I've seen. What did he do? People don't even remember his name. He did nothing in the movie except experiment on symbiotes. Anybody could do that. You can interchange him with countless people.
Yeah, I don't remember his name in the movie either.
That's my fucking point. You got a Venom movie where you don't even remember that generic bland ass villain, and then you had Riot and Venom fight. which was cool, but only lasted 2 seconds, and it was at the very end of the movie. And you mean to tell me that Riot, a symbiote who's supposed to be intelligent, okay, remember at the beginning of the movie when he came to the planet and he was looking for the Venom symbiote, right? We saw that, and then it had a time jump. It said 6 months, right? And then we see what's happening with Eddie. By the time he catches up with him at the end of the movie, it's implied that we had 8 months, almost a year before he caught up to the Venom symbiote. So I'm like, you mean to tell me that this alien thing took almost a year to find the Venom symbiote?
He was across the water too. Now
it doesn't matter. Like when Eddie Brock picked up his little phone and found the laboratory within seconds, Riot could have did the same thing. He had access to the same technology. That was just the way they wrote it for the plot, but it implied that the Riot symbiote is stupid because it took him more than a year what Eddie Brock did in a couple of seconds. Without the Venom symbiote, that was just Eddie Brock the person. So just saying, I'm like, okay, so I guess we can toss intelligence out of this plot, unless people are just going to ignore what I just said.
Yeah, I nitpick too, but
But to me, I feel like that's not even a nitpick because I thought of it too quickly. It was inherently obvious that I was in for nothing more than, like, if I'm lucky, I'm going to get a couple of cool scenes, which I did, right? You know, when he was fighting the SWAT officers, that was dope. When he fought Riot for 2 seconds, that was cool. And you got nothing else. You essentially got a symbiote telling this man that he should apologize to a woman that dumped him over the dumbest shit in the world. I'm like, you mean to tell me that you were about to marry this man and you didn't even let him explain why he was doing what he was doing, and then you just left him and you replaced him almost that quickly? It was just a bunch of foolishness in that movie. Stupid.
Johnny Xbox say Black Dynamite versus Afro Samurai. I like Black Dynamite better. I do too.
In terms of fighting,
Dynamite,
sweet. Like Black Dynamite was cool, but in terms of fighting, Afro Samurai would slaughter him.
I really like Black Samurai, man. I like Bullhorn. Bullhorn is my favorite.
In that movie? Oh no, like Black Dynamite was.
Man, I like Black Dynamite, the cartoon and stuff, man. But Bullhorn and Cream Corn, man, I'm sucking for footy. When Black Dynamite first met Cream Corn in that chair, and he took off running. Shit, man.
I didn't get into that cartoon that they made, but I did see the movie.
The movie, you should go back to when Black Lightning first meet Cream Corn when he's sitting in the barber's chair. That shit is funny.
Oh yeah, that's definitely funny. No, I agree, but it's just, and Black Dynamite's my boy, but I think that
the cartoon is funny too. You need to check out the cartoon, man.
I've seen some glimpses. I thought it was funny, but like,
man, it's funny.
It's just Afro Samurai would just murder him. Like,
oh yeah, definitely a fight.
And Black Dynamite, he's meant to be a silly character in a silly premise.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just that black exploitation movies. That's all that was.
Yeah, times 10. Like they magnified it, which was fine for what it was. It was a good ass movie, but it's just you can't take him out and put him up against a man that thinks nothing of but killing people. It's like, you're gonna die.
Guys, was Batman Ninja movie that came out a couple years ago any good? Yes. I liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it. The time travel part was kind of crazy, and then that damn contraption the Joker made at the end. If you're a Batman fan, you definitely need to check it out. It's not the best Batman animation movie, but it's pretty good.
Well, at the time when it came out, like, there was not a single person that I talked to that didn't like that movie.
Yeah, it's very, very colorful.
Yeah, it's done in a way to where it looks like anime-ish in terms of the way that they did the animation, but like the time traveling in that movie makes sense to where it doesn't in Endgame, because at least in Batman Ninja they already tell you outright that you have a criminal that's building something and it malfunctions and it teleports them back to feudal Japan. I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense. That can definitely happen. He can definitely build that. With Endgame, there's a lot of incoherent time traveling elements, like they've never watched Back to the Future or read a Flash comic book in their entire life. So no.
Okay. Man, I said they swapped Heimdall and Nick Fury, and I couldn't imagine those movies without Idris or Samuel. I agree. I know Idris
No.
did.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
What?
Not first of all, they did not swap Nick Fury. Nick Fury in the comic books in the Ultimate version was black. So that's actually accurate. I had to correct someone in the theater. There was some white guy in there when he saw the fuck we were watching, I think Iron Man 1 or some shit. He comes out and he talks to Tony and he's like, well. And this white guy to my right goes, Nick Fury is white. I'm like, he was also black too in the Ultimate Comics. And people, like, there were some people that laughed and some people that clapped. I assumed that they knew what I was talking about. And he looked like a dumbass. So no, in the case of Heimdall though, Mads is not wrong about that. Like, he was swapped because, hello, just
Yep, they got women in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna be in that Avengers movie. Oh, girl, let's go.
I don't know about that because the Thor characters.
I do.
I don't think so because Thor.
Yeah, Thor 2. I'm not saying they're not, but I know some black women around where I work at and in my family. You mentioned Idris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the number, that's true. But they did not show up for Thor 1 or 2 because the numbers are not there. Thor was a struggling character. It wasn't until they made Thor Ragnarok that everybody was paying attention.
I'll give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
She said, Jason in the steel suit. I don't want to see that.
Yes, you do.
See, okay, here's the thing. Like, it shouldn't be that fucking one from the Shaq movie. Like, Steel from the comic books looks so cool with the way that he designed his suit and the cape and the hammer. I'm like, in the context of the Shaq movie, I'm like, you're the only 7 foot tall nigga walking around. Who else is gonna be Steel? I'm like, they describe him as being more than 7 feet. I'm like, you see the only Shaq walking around. I'm pretty sure I could be the dumbest person on the planet and go, you know what, boss? That might be fucking Steel over there.
I understand what you're saying, but when they had him in the lineup, didn't they have a bunch of like people just as tall as him?
No, he was the tallest one in the lineup. They were all shorter than him. Every single one of them were shorter than him.
Well, I knew that lady. She knew who he was, but she wasn't telling. You know. Only thing
he did end up in jail though. Remember that he smiled. He thought nothing happened, and then he ended up in jail. That shit was funny. He thought he was gonna be slick. Right? Oh shit.
I was like, they should have spent more money on that suit, man. You know what I mean?
The suit was whack, but that damn hammer was on point. I like the hammer.
No, the hammer was good.
That hammer was trash compared to the comics. I'm like, man, I felt like that was probably something that like Tony built when he was 2. I'm like, that shit was weak compared to his actual hammer.
Well, I wish somebody would give me a hammer like that. Now I'll show you how weak it is.
Well, I guarantee you, if I'd have had that hammer in school, people would have been getting fucked up. But like, but no, like the scene where he was building his suit and they had that song. It's kind of like a gospel song. Like, usually I don't roll with gospel songs, but it was just the nature of, standing up and building your suit and you got to steel yourself. I'm like, that was the best scene in the whole movie because I was feeling when he was building his suit. Like, I was like, that shit is real. And they had the little S on his shoulder. I'm like, okay, I get what you tried to do there. I'm like, all right. Look, he's the only one that tall, and you can see that he's a black guy. Still in the comics, you don't know what race he is because he's covered up. He just looks like a big metal man.
Yeah. How many times have you guys seen that movie?
Steel?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Shit.
When it first came out, man, I must have watched it about like 10 or 12 times. It was the only thing back then that looked like us. Besides Blade, who else? What other superhero you gonna watch that look like us?
No, I get it, but I'm just saying that's why I asked because you guys
was it good? No,
hell no. But it has Shaq in it though. That's the only reason why people watched it.
I like Shaq.
That's
why I watched Kazam. Kazam wasn't worth nothing, but Shaq, man, Shaq's cool.
Oh God,
I didn't like Shaq at the time.
That's why you see his new TV show he got now, man.
No, he hasn't.
Boy, Shaq got a lot of responsibility, boy. He took his. It's like a
Like one of those reality home
yeah.
shows on life and shit. Oh yeah.
Because right now he's catching heat for being like buying Papa John's. A lot of people saying he's like selling out stuff because he's like the first black board member.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to change that image. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You check it out.
Yeah, they gotta. It's been enough time to where they can do a proper still movie. I already talked to a few people about it, and I talked to Sean about various ideas that I have for that movie and how you can use Superman and how you can really make an emotional story out of that, to where you can get the audience not only clapping but have them in tears near the end of the movie because of what John Henry Irons is going to do. This is just, for me, it's easy to come up with countless scenarios about what you can do. And I do like when either they do something that I thought of or something like it. It just depends on the execution. But if they don't do anything like what I thought about and it's bad, I'm just like, you can't tell me that you don't have somebody in your creative department that has at least entertained one of my ideas, not 10, just one. Because again, if they're making money, that's fine, that's good. But I'm like, if you're trying to get people to cheer and have a memorable scene, you got to do certain things.
But see, that's what poisons the whole punch. If somebody come up with a bad idea or something that's crappy and it makes money, you can't tell that individual that he or she ain't the stuff.
Well,
it has to totally bomb, and people ridicule them, and they see on Saturday Night Live or the other show that's getting joked at, then they'll listen. But you very seldom, the stuff that would happen with that Sonic, like the first trailers, people like, what the hell? And they went back to the drawing board and they fixed it and corrected it. That very seldom's happened in the movie world that I've seen.
Okay, but in terms of Sonic, when I saw the trailer, like with the way that he looked, I didn't hate it. I was like, whatever. I was concerned about the rest of the movie because the rest of the movie looked horrible to me. I watched it and I thought it was cool. There was a lot of references to the early games. But it's just, my concern was not Sonic's appearance. I was concerned about the movie. I was, you're going to fix the rest of the movie. But if you look at Star Wars, it is the most divisive it has ever been, even more so than the prequels. So that is an example of how it can make all this money and then you're dividing the fan base. So much so to where Kathleen Kennedy stepped aside and allowed Jon Favreau to do The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is as cool as it is because Kathleen Kennedy had jack shit to do.
I got you, and that proves my point. Kathleen Kennedy said, "Man, fuck y'all. My movie made $1 billion, so you can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna keep doing what's working for me." That's what I'm saying.
She didn't say that though. That's why she brought in Jon Favreau. That's why Bob Iger brought in Jon Favreau.
I'm talking about for Mandalorian. I'm talking about for the 3 sequels. She had her hand in all that.
I know that.
Only reason why Bob Iger tell her to keep her ass from the Mandalorian, I suspect, is because when Jon Favreau got into it, he got his ear to the ground, and people are saying, "Don't let her get in here. Don't let her get in here."
The reason why that happened is because she did her little movies. The Star Wars fan base is more divisive than it's ever been, like I said, and also because of, even more so than the prequels. Bob Iger is not stupid. He's like, look, for us to do a Star Wars show, it would be the dumbest shit to let her be part of something to make it even more divisive, especially considering what happened with that last movie. No, they're like, Jon Favreau, you did Iron Man, you did a lot of other stuff. You need to get in here and do this. Kathleen Kennedy, you hang back because while you're making us money, you're also not making a lot of people happy. So shut up and sit down. That's exactly what happened.
But I also believe that's the reason why he told her to get out, because it was Jon Favreau.
Exactly.
If it was anybody else, no one can tell Kathleen Kennedy anything. Like, no matter what, like, you could say whatever. She's trash. She killed Star Wars.
Preach.
She's on her horse, man. She made the money.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And
number one, I didn't say that she killed Star Wars because
I'm not saying you did.
Right.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying that's the talk, right?
I'm saying her mindset from the outside looking in. I don't mean to cut you off, Jason. Is that fuck some of these fans? Just like you say, fuck the humans. That's what she's saying, so to speak. Fuck the humans and the Earthlings, because last time I checked, we in this business to make money, and you can't please everybody. My last two movies made $1 billion each, so fuck y'all. That's what I'm saying. She's saying,
and that's why she's a fail. Like it. See, my thing is, when certain things that she should have addressed to the fans, she never did, because she's a businesswoman, right? Like Kevin Feige is a fan of Marvel. That's why I think he's better than Kathleen Kennedy. And like he will do things that the fans like. Kathleen Kennedy is only about making money. So if you want to talk about money, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, she made the
that's
money.
what I'm telling
But
you.
a lot of fans don't like her because of the stupid shit she's done. And in terms of Jon Favreau, Bob Iger let him do what he did because he is who he is. But because Jon Favreau is who he is, that's why he came in. He's like, look, you know who I am? I can do something way better than she can.
Terrence,
and that's what he did.
You must like to argue. We saying the same thing. We are agreeing with is the exact same thing you saying.
All I'm saying is that Kathleen Kennedy has been fucking up.
Okay.
I don't care.
And
I
all
don't
I'm
care
telling you,
money.
I agree she's been fucking up as far as it relates to the fans. But also on the other side of that pillow, she is saying, like I've heard you said, fuck these humans. I made y'all $3 billion with his last 3 movies. So tell them to kiss my ass.
That is not the same. Okay, first of all, when I say fuck humans, it has nothing to do with me making movies. That's completely different.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying the same way you got your thoughts about how you feel about certain humans and what they do and their behaviors and stuff, and you say that
it's
particular
not
phrase.
Certain ones. It's not certain runs. It's most of them. Like
okay, most of them.
99.9%.
So
like
she is saying most of y'all can kiss my white ass because I'm running this shit. Last time I checked, $1 billion is profit, and I'm making it. And if some of y'all don't like it, then don't fucking watch it. That's what I'm saying. She's saying.
I don't think she said anything like that. Nor do I think she thought, because she's not that kind of person. She doesn't even show up to certain Star Wars conventions to address the fans. She's afraid to do that. I know, but she's not going to say that though. I feel like you will say that, Danny, and I believe you if you say it. She would never think that. I think her only positioning is, I'm going to do this Star Wars project. We made $1 billion. Cool. What's next? I think it's as simple as that. I don't think she has the spine that you just specified.
No, I think she know. Anybody with common sense know it's pretty much impossible to fail making money in Star Wars, with the exception of Han Solo. That's the only one that didn't make money, because the fans, whether they're divisive or not, like you said, in which they are, they're going to come out. I'm gonna go see what the hell it's about. They're gonna come out. That's just the nature of the beast. So she knows she got that cushion.
But see, Solo failed because she didn't listen to the fans. Like, look, no one asked for a Solo movie. The fact that you would bring Harrison Ford back as Han Solo and kill him after this silly female specifically said, we're going to stay away from the old stuff and entertain new stuff. We're going to divorce ourselves. And then you bring him back in just to kill him. And then you're like, you know, it's a great idea. We're going to do Solo with a different actor. I'm like, what? Are you serious?
Okay.
Like, well, I went to see it. Nobody else did.
Financially, that's our only misstep.
It's a in combination with her other missteps, it's something that could have been it's something that could have been avoided, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, possibly. And I'm a big fan, not a big fan of the Disney Star Wars movies, but when they put out the next one, I'll still be there the first day to watch it.
Oh, as will I. But like I said, though, like, these missteps could have been avoided. There's no reason for you to do a Solo movie after you kill off Harrison Ford as soon as you bring him back. In fact, a lot of people got excited to see Force Awakens because they saw Han Solo and Chewbacca. That got the biggest rise out of people. That's why they put them at the end of the trailer. So I'm just like, you're making bad decisions. Like, you got a bunch of missteps, and obviously that can be covered up by the nature of your success. But I still got to point them out, because while she's up there smiling and shit, I'm like, don't act like you up there, you know, all perfect and shit. You made some mistakes, and I'll fucking call you out for them. That's what I'm gonna do.
I don't mind them killing Solo. That wasn't my issue. I didn't like the fact that they did it in the first movie, but I don't mind that. My problem is, and I'm gonna just say it, like you took all the growth that they had from the original trilogy and just wiped it right out the window. Like all the growth. Han Solo was in the rebellion, he was helping them. Force Awakens comes, he's back to smuggling.
Right. No. When he got killed, make no mistake, I was cheering. I was the only one cheering in the theater. I thought it was cool. But like it's just, again, for you to tell me that you're gonna stay away, but yet you use them as a stepping stool. Like Luke, Leia, Han, they're only there to provide the nature of the recognizability, right? Yeah, because it's Star Wars, but they really don't serve any real purpose. Luke didn't need to be there. I mean, he didn't train Rey. Rey trained herself. She just knew everything anyway. The stuff where Princess Leia like trained her for like 5 seconds, that was like some of the sloppiest fucking writing I've ever seen because there's no basis for it. It just seemed like they were there with the chalkboard and they just were like, hey, you know, it'd be cool if we did this and that and people are going to cheer. And I'm like, did you take in consideration that this makes no fucking sense, or did you forget the trilogy that you set up? I mean, we just got these movies. I mean,
the Rise of Skywalker was basically like trying to please fans with what they did. You know what I mean? All the stuff they did in the they were just trying to please fans.
And I would argue that that's not the case though, Jason, because it was so stupid. Like
I think they were just trying to put stuff together that they thought would please the fans, and it was a big ass bomb.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. They thought they were doing that, but they fucked up. I'm like, nothing in the movie's making sense. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that they got a device that could just lead to a fucking Sith Lord, and it's just as soon as you lose this device, here's another one. Everything was nothing more than forced, awkward convenience.
They call it something finder. What was it called? Sith Finder? Wayfinder. Wayfinder. I'm like Wayfinder, but it looked just like a damn holocron. I don't know why they didn't say Sith holocron or Jedi holocron.
And then the dagger had the same fucking lining as the Death Star crash, which was
several years way before that.
And I'm like, how the fuck is the Death Star even there? That shit turned to dust. I'm like, there shouldn't be anything left. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, man. And then Rey, I'm like, so you mean to tell me that Darth Sidious was like Rey had one hand on that fucking lightsaber, and Darth Sidious was shocking her with all the power of the Sith, but he couldn't find his way around a skinny ass lightsaber to hit her in the face, and then she was just like, I'm all the Jedi. I'm like, this shit is stupid. It's dumb. Like, what are they doing?
And why is he using the light force anyways? It's not working. It hasn't worked in any of the Star Wars yet, right?
The only time that I saw, well, I mean, it worked on two fronts, and that was in Return of the Jedi, right? You know, because I mean, sure, he did the whole maze thing, he threw him out the window and stuff, but like,
yeah, but it didn't kill It didn't kill Luke. Like, look how long he was hitting Luke with the lightning, and Luke was just, you know what I mean?
I think that situation was merely for the plot. I think that number one, I think he could have killed Luke right away because it looked like he was just trying to see if Luke would change his mind because he was taking way too long. I'm like, he could have just offed him and shit. And then you had that period.
I read somewhere that he was trying to do something so he could transfer his essence into Luke's body. What I read somewhere. I don't have the full details of it. But
I have no idea about that. That may be possible. I hope that's not the case because that does sound kind of silly to me. But like, I'm like, look, and then when Darth Vader picked him up, then he virtually killed himself. I'm like, that shit is powerful. But in the context of Rise, I'm like, did these people not take like the first day of writing class? I'm like, your movies, can you make them make sense? What is all this shit? Like, I like Rey, but it's like she has no substance. She never struggles. She just knows how to do anything. I'm like, not even Superman is like that. Superman gets beat up all the time and clothes getting ripped, but somehow Rey, she like, no, I'm Rey. I'm going to learn the Jedi mind trick after 2 attempts. I'm like, and then she's like, I can just fight Kylo Ren because I'm Rey. And I'm like, it's just the dumbest shit. And then, I'm going to be able to beat Darth Sidious even though I have no fucking training. It's like none of it made any sense. I'm like, why do you need a team? Poe is useless. He's just a regular ass person that flies fighter pilots. I'm like, you can interchange him with anybody. Finn didn't do shit. He's useless. Chewbacca was just essentially there because he's Chewbacca. We all love him. But I'm like, these people didn't need to be there. Rey could have did that whole shit by herself, which is pretty much what she did anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dominican Scott said, "Who's the best Gohan to me? It was the one from the History of Trunks. I don't give a fuck about Gohan. I hate his ass. So I don't care one way or the other."
Honestly, I think he's right. I think the one from History of Trunks was the most beast one. Did you see that movie, Danny? The History of Trunks?
No.
Yeah, that movie is a different timeline where the androids succeeded and they killed everybody, and then you got like Trunks and Gohan left. You got a couple people.
The Trunks come to the future, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like you see Gohan, he lost his arm, and he was just like one arm. He was like, Trunks, I got this. I'm gonna take on 17 and 18. That to me, like Gohan in that moment, that might be just as good as when he like got Beast when he fought Cell, because it was so definitive. Like Gohan was awesome.
Never been a fan of Gohan. He do a daddy, and then he always ain't confident of himself. And damn, Goku basically got the damn lick his nutsack from the son. Please fight. You're bad. You're good. You're bad at all that begging, man. Either piss or get off the pot. I never liked Gohan. I thought he was weak, and he got on my damn nerves. And I'm glad they sit his ass down in Super.
And that's why. And we can thank his mother for that. She put that shit in him. I mean, when Gohan wasn't around his father,
he did that stupid ass say a man shit. That was stupid.
Right. And that chick that liked him at the school, that shit was weak. I'm like, look, Gohan, like, you talking about? I remember he said he wanted to go to school. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, your fucking mother put that in your head. Like, he was talking about, can I go train with daddy? And then as soon as your mom said, no, you ain't gonna be no bum, then you start doing your math homework. I'm like, come on, Gohan. Like, your mother then turned you into a basic bitch. Like, you become normalized. Like, you don't even deserve to be with the Z Fighters. Like, you get your little props for selling shit. But after that, man, take your ass to do another college course or something, man. Get out of here.
Trenton says, since they made a Bloodshot movie, they should make a Ninjak movie.
Is that another character in the Valiant comics? Because I'm not too familiar with them. I saw a poster and they had like a gazillion characters. If he is part of that, I wouldn't mind seeing it because I enjoy Bloodshot. You know, I enjoyed the movie in a way that I did not enjoy the first. I read the very first Bloodshot comic book. I didn't think it was bad. Like the comic book itself is good, but I didn't care for it. So I was like, I need to read more to see if I warm up to him. But I did enjoy the movie in a way that I did in that first comic book. So there's that. So I'm interested in whatever they would like to do in terms of doing their own cinematic universe. I don't know if it's going to pick up steam, but it'd be interesting to see them try, though.
Okay.
I like Bloodshot.
I didn't watch it yet. Mad said, that's the key for me. Going in, not expect to be comic book accurate really helps. Yep, some stuff it does. If you guys bonded with the symbiote, what would your name and color be? Damn.
Color would be black for sure.
Yeah.
Name, I have no idea.
My name would probably be all shit.
Well, I mean, naturally,
we are all shit.
Naturally, it would have to be Terrence. Like it's going to stay that number one.
Yeah, of course.
Number two, black or red or a mixture of both. Like, because I know that whatever the symbiote is, if it bonds with me, it's going to pull from my personality. And due to the fact that my entire, like in terms of who I am today, it was completely sparked by rage. The symbiote, whatever attached to me, will feed off of that, which means that everybody on the planet would probably die because it's going to feed off of that. So, and then also you combine that with all of my mental training, everyone is dead. Like if you're not a friend, I feel like everyone's going to die. That's what would happen.
What was the martial arts movie from the early 2000s where the guy was trying to rescue elephants?
Oh, The Protector. Yeah, that's the one with Tony Jaa.
I thought it was Oh my god, I just had the name of it.
No,
I
no.
just had
Ong Bak is the one where he was
oh
trying to get the Buddha
the
statue.
Buddha
The head got
fellowship.
cut off, so he was trying to get the
Yeah,
head back. Yeah, so
right,
that's
right.
like Ong Bak was better than the Protector, but the Protector was dope because you have this long history of the Taiwanese kind of worshiping elephants and just kind of really looking up to them and shit. So when they killed one of the elephants and took that one away from Tony Jaa, I was like, this is worse than if you kill John Wick's dog, because like Tony Jaa is like that dude where he walks into a room where there's like 80 guys with guns and he just beats them all. He doesn't need a gun like John Wick. And if anything, John Wick is probably better because at least he would just shoot you in the head. You don't got to feel anything. With Tony Jaa, he just run up on you. You got the knee, the elbow, your leg getting snapped, and your neck. Like you're feeling a bunch of pain before you die. So I'd rather deal with John Wick because at least he'll make it quick. Just saying.
Trent says in the manga of Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta is currently training on the same planet as Goku, where he learned to instant transmission to beat a new enemy that easily beat Goku new form. I don't follow the manga, so
Yeah, me neither. I don't follow the manga.
Robert Storm said, "Pay Chadwick Boseman." I agree with you, bro. If he need,
Yeah,
if that's what it is, pay the man. Is like
But
KGB said on Rounders, pay that man his money.
but see, that's the thing though. Like, I haven't seen anything where he was demanding money. Where did that even come from?
I think that was part of the article the original article came from that Comic Book News, whatever, which is not a very reputable.
Wait,
source.
comic book or cosmic book? Because
Cosmic
book.
book.
Okay, yeah, that's a trash one right there.
And that's what I've heard. Like I said, I first heard this story broke by Robert, and he was just saying he doesn't believe it either. But he said, hypothetically speaking, if it was just to say he wanted the money, then if they're going to be the new face and the new part of the new 333, like Hulk, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man was, then pay him whatever, or at least meet him halfway, was what Robert was saying, and I agree with him too.
Yeah, he should be leading. It should be
sure.
It should be either Black Panther or Spider-Man. It shouldn't be no fucking whack ass Captain Marvel. That's bullshit.
I agree. He said Solo failed because of many reasons. First, Bob Iger wouldn't let them put it in December. Two,
no.
Bob Iger made Lucasfilm release it 2 weeks after Infinity War. And 3, Harrison Ford wouldn't come back unless they killed him off.
No, Solo failed because nobody asked for it. It doesn't matter when they put it. There was no interest in that movie. I was paying attention to it the whole time. I mean, I went to see it, some other people, but the interest was not there. The only thing that I kept hearing is, where's Harrison Ford? That was the main question. Oh, he's not in there? Oh, just going to be him the whole time? They weren't going to go see it. So when it failed, it didn't surprise me. It was just more like, I enjoyed it. I think that it probably deserved a little bit more money. But then again, like I said, if they would have came to me, Terrence, should we do Solo a Star Wars story? I'd be like, fuck no. Get out of my office.
These guys said Harrison Ford wanted Han to die because Empire Strikes Back and almost Return of the Jedi. I don't know. Don't really care. Ray did struggle.
It's a Star Wars movie. I don't think it matters where you put it.
And she didn't have a last name at first.
Yeah. No, Ray did not struggle because she didn't know her parent. Darth Reese human. Look. That's the same thing as somebody saying.
Yeah, he did want to die.
Yeah,
he did want to die.
that Captain Marvel struggled because she didn't have her memories. That's nothing. That's the worst thing you got to deal with because you don't have your memories. Even though when you get approached in any situation, you make it out with ease. Do you know how many heroes would love the fact if all they had to deal with was the fact that they didn't have their fucking memories? Come on, man.
Bloodshot, good surprise. Good movie. Like I said, I hadn't seen it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's entertaining, Danny. Like I'm
going to see it, but I just ain't going to see it yet.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
think
see it.
I think you might like it, Danny. Like
Yeah,
maybe not, but it's like to me, I didn't think it was necessarily a good movie, but it was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like Vin Diesel, I feel like
yeah,
you get your little Vin Diesel fix. Like he definitely
yeah.
be kicking ass and shit.
I think I'm gonna like it. I just the movie to see it. If I had a symbiote, call me Green Werewolf. I want my symbiote color green and look like a big werewolf. Okay, good for you.
I'll stick
Trenton,
with Black.
my son said, "Who do you think after Batman next week best superhero planner and tactician? Who do you think after Batman the next
Oh,
three
that's
best superhero planner and tactician?"
is this just DC or in general? Because
Uh,
if it's DC, I'm
I
like,
know
well,
two. I don't know who the third one would be. First one I would put would be Deathstroke. Two, I would put Doctor Doom. I don't.
you're doing across
Mhm.
the board. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Across the board. No. After Batman, across the board. Adam Warlock would definitely be one of them because he's the one that orchestrated the entire plan to try to stop Thanos after he got the gauntlet. Yeah, that was him by himself that came up with all the plans that they did not put in the movie for some reason. So all that stuff that Doctor Strange and them were struggling with, Adam Warlock already had all that shit figured out. By the way, so yeah, so he would be one, and then there's too many. There's too many to do a top three. I mean, I could say Reed Richards. I can say Victor Von Doom. I could say Darkseid. I can say the Spectre. I can say. I could say. In certain situations, that could also be Constantine if you specifically focus on supernatural events. Um,
yeah.
Professor Zoom is really good at preparing for many things in multiple timelines. Like I think
Professor
that you know,
Professor
uh,
X.
Professor X sort of. I feel like he's good enough. Like I feel like he can be on the list. I don't know if I would put him at the top because there's too much stuff that he doesn't know that he becomes aware of later, which proved to be dangerous for him and not only his X-Men but for other mutants. Like even the I remember a lot of stuff that was going on in the Civil War storyline. They got wind of it, but some stuff they got wind of it late, like in terms of what was going on with Tony and Iron Man and the humans and stuff. They kind of just touched the surface. So I feel like, eh, Charles is reliable most of the time, but sometimes, man, I feel like Charles is so preoccupied with different things that he might forget about a couple of details that are important. Charles, what about this? Like, well, we got to focus on this, my children. I'm like, well, Charles, if you don't look at this, we might be dead tomorrow.
Robert says, "Sorry, Terrence, you're wrong. Release date means a lot." Okay.
No need to apologize, but it does not when it comes to Star Wars. It does not any more than it does for DC or Marvel. Like though, if it's DC, Marvel, or Star Wars, you could put it anywhere and people are gonna go pay attention to it. Now, granted, if I'm gonna be fair, sure, you put it in a certain month, it may make a little less or a little bit more, but it's not going to be a huge difference, right? Like it's not like if you put it in this month, it's going to make 500 million more than if you put it in, say, a month where, I don't know, January or something, where people are like, no, it's not going to make any money. It will be fine. I feel like these months and dates become more important for question mark projects like Mortal Kombat, a Tomb Raider movie, or something like a little bit where I think you have to put it in a place to where it doesn't have a lot of competition and a specific date because those are question marks. These money makers, Fast and the Furious is another one. I don't care what day you put Fast and the Furious, it's gonna make money, guarantee you. So no,
Mhm.
Solo is just a project that nobody cared about.
And I agree
Darth,
with you 100%.
yeah, and on that particular point, I agree. Darth Reed said,
Because
"I don't." Go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say I agree with you because the biggest mistake they made was putting it 2 weeks after Infinity Wars. That was their mistake. But I don't think if you put it in May, you put it in June, it's a Star Wars movie. People are gonna go see that regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, say if they would have put it in another month away from Infinity War,
Oh, I
I'll give it
froze,
this. Let's say it would have
I think.
let's say give it another 80 million, right? That's nothing to scoff at. That's more
That's
than
all
most movies. Some movies can't even get to 30 million, right? So, but it's still, again, not as much of a difference as you would think. It's really not.
Darth Reed says, I don't see Captain Marvel having enough chemistry with the other possible main three characters being the same main three herself. And she's just not that much of an interesting character. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like I said, I wanted to like her movie, and I don't even hate it. It's just like I wish there was more substance to it, because in her movie, she has, like, if I compare that to other MCU movies, she actually has a lot of pieces that if they would have executed it right, she would have been flexing on other MCU movies in terms of not money, but in terms of content. Like the stuff with the Kree and the Scrolls and Ronan, they could have did a lot of great stuff, but they didn't. They just played it safe, in my opinion.
Ninja said, would Adam Driver be in the MCU?
And they made her way too powerful.
Yeah, yeah, she's not supposed to be that powerful. You're right, Jason. They made her way too powerful. Like,
right? So,
she ain't supposed to be like that.
so now when you have so now when you have a movie with her, it's what are the stakes? Like, you're gonna have to have someone extremely powerful to be able to beat her, right? So
Exactly, Jason. I have been saying that for the longest time, Jason. And then you have these what I call fake Marvel fans, Jason, where they're like, "No, Kevin Feige says she's the most powerful, and so she can beat anybody." I'm like, Jason, hand me the bat, Jason. I don't want to get violent, but hand me the bat, Jason. So, I mean, that whole shit where Thanos headbutted her and it didn't do anything, I was like, get the fuck out of here. She would be dead. Like, I like that he punched her out of the movie. I think the Russo brothers are like the coolest for making that scene. That was so satisfying. Like, get your ass out of here. You just got here. Who are you trying to show up and do some shit? Like, no. I'm like, it's Scarlet Witch from the specifically the House of M storyline, because that's really where she's the most powerful in the multiverse, stuff like that. Like, if she would have been that version and she would have, like, been able to take Thanos' head, but that would have made more sense than Captain Marvel. But Captain Marvel's the new kid on the block. So to the normies, people that don't read comics, if you have her take a headbutt from Thanos, they're gonna be like, see, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no.
right. And just think about that. She took a headbutt from Thanos and had nothing happen to her. So what happens when she goes up against someone like, you know what I mean, a regular villain? Like,
right, like Baron Zemo. What the fuck is Baron Zemo gonna do? Like, I don't care what kind of sick ass purple outfit he's wearing. He's gonna die. That's what's gonna happen.
Sure.
Yeah. Ninja said, would Adam Driver be in the MCU? To me, I think he would be a good Adam Warlock.
Yes. Oh man, I gotta tell you, in the last 2 months, that is like some of the best casting, if not the best casting I've ever heard of. Adam Warlock, the way that he looks and his hair and shit, if you just paint him yellow and give him the white eyes, number one, he already looks like Adam Warlock. But I feel like Adam Driver, he has the screen presence. He has acting range. I feel like he would crush it as Adam Warlock. I love that. Kevin Feige, if you're listening, get him now. Like right now. I don't care who you got, exchange him for Adam Driver.
I got you. Robert says, still wrong. Look up the numbers. There are facts to prove it.
No, there's no facts against what is. And what is that Star Wars is popular. You can't argue that. I don't care where you put it, it's going to make money. Now, again, like I said, because it was around Infinity War, it did hurt it. But how much did it hurt it? Because the interest level was not there. Jason, how many people do you remember going, I'm excited to see Solo? How many people, Jason?
I wasn't even excited to see it, bro.
There you go. Danny, how many humans did you
even
hear?
that, you just have to look at
Not many, but I know in
And
certain.
just look at the first week's numbers, right?
Exactly. I'm like, no, it's not wrong. It's
Was
correct.
that?
It's absolutely correct. Look, I know you love Star Wars, Robert. So you I don't know, man, but I'm just telling you, it's not wrong. It's absolutely correct. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot
Just,
argue with that. Star Wars
you
should
just
have no problem because it's Star Wars.
Yeah, you just look at the first week numbers and you'll see how much people were excited to see it or not.
Exactly. Like I'll use this. My boy
You know,
Vin
it didn't
Diesel.
it didn't do so great.
I will use this a film that I like, Bloodshot, Vin Diesel. I'm a huge fan of him. If it got Vin Diesel in it, I will give it a shot, no matter if I like the trailer or not. That movie came out around the time of all this COVID-19 shit, right? But it had just a little
Mm-hmm.
smidgen of time to make some money. It had like some days. Nobody went to see it. Now somebody
Mm-hmm.
will go, it's because of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was no hype around that movie. People were like, it
Mm-hmm.
just looks like Fast Nine, but now he has superpowers. It's like the same shit I've seen. I've heard people talking trash about Bloodshot forever, right? It just that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stank was there. I'm like, man, but what if it ends up being cool? That's what I was thinking. But a lot of people, they weren't impressed. They're like, no, I don't like it. So no, the interest was not there. So when the fact that COVID-19, even if that was
Yeah,
out the
absolutely.
way, it wouldn't have made that much money. Still would have made very
Absolutely.
little.
And that's the same thing with
Uh, D. Scott said, "Who's more powerful, Captain Marvel or the Sentry?"
Um, I would go with Sentry, but Captain Marvel, I feel like at most, I've seen her be to the point to where she could be considered a world breaker, but at the same time, that's really not that impressive when you get into like the higher pantheons of the Marvel characters. Like breaking a planet is really only as impressive as the characters that you are with. If there are other people that can do the same, it's not as impressive, and other people could do it better. In fact, like I would say that if Hulk doesn't even have to be at the strongest Hulk, Immortal Hulk, or none of that. If he just take him out the comics, get that Hulk, and you get him to grab Captain Marvel by her neck, he would pop her like a balloon. I don't care how much little Super Saiyan juice that she has. I don't care about that. She's gonna die.
Star Wars over Star Trek. You guys agree?
yes.
Um, old Star
Uh,
Wars, I definitely. The new Star Wars now, no.
Good
okay.
point.
Um, I'm more or less with you on that one, Danny. Like, cause I feel like
Me
that's
too.
fair. Like, cause like, but if I'm gonna be honest though, I guess in general, I would say I'm more of a Star Wars guy.
Yeah,
It
I'm more
because
excited because Star Wars usually have more action. The lightsaber scenes. I mean, I don't care if you like the prequels, hate the prequels. The lightsaber scenes in the prequels are the best, bar none. I don't care what you say. What you
yes,
wait to your
you're
breath if you
right.
tell.
Yeah,
And,
I
and,
agree.
and, and for seeing that, I'm like, yes, I want to see that. I don't have that same level of excitement for a Star Trek movie, but these last three Star Wars have really not been my favorite. I think the prequels are better. And if I'm basing it on the last three, in particular the last two, then I definitely think that I want to see Star Trek more because I like the
Uh,
chemistry between Spock, Kirk, and Bones. I've always liked that.
um, you remember when I was talking about Star Trek, Danny, and I said that while I've seen a lot of it, it really is more so character driven for me. Like it has to be specific characters that I like, and
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
not so much automatically that it's Star Trek. Like with Star Wars, whatever you do, it gets my attention. Like Solo, Robert, you're gonna get me by default. With Star Trek, it's okay. I respect me some Star Trek. Let me see what's up. It's like the excitement is less, right? And it's like, and then I can watch it and go, oh, I really like him. I really like her. And that
Mm-hmm.
could get me to keep watching it. But I feel like with Star Wars, no matter how much I disliked about this other movie, you already have me already because there's too much excitement and too much curiosity off the bat until I get into it and then you kind of turn me off as I'm watching it. So you already got me, but there can
And
be
fuck
things
it
that
up.
you know, yeah, fuck it up, so to speak, right? So
I agree with you 100%. For me, it's like when you know that Star Wars trailer is gonna hit in the morning, you're waking up early in the morning to watch that Star Wars trailer, you know, and I wouldn't do that for Star Trek. I'd like, okay, it's coming out tomorrow. I wake up in the morning, oh, okay, let me go check out the trailer, you know.
oh
That
what
Star Wars
dang,
trailer.
Jay, so you wouldn't so Jason, if I told you and Danny like, hey man, I got this Star Trek movie that I made, you guys wouldn't wake up early to see the trailer?
Nope, because you'd be like,
Only because
who you gonna play? Uhura? Because ain't nobody black in Star Trek besides her. And you
No,
say you
no,
wouldn't
no,
play
no.
no
I'm
other
talking
Star
about
Trek movie.
no. I'm talking about that I directed this Star Trek movie, and I wanted you guys to wake up to see the trailer at first glance.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
first
Jason, you
off,
wouldn't get
we're
up.
friends, so I should wake up and I shouldn't have to wake up in the morning. I should get that trailer as soon as it's done. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to wake up in the morning to see trailers.
I got you, Jason. But this is supposed to be like this is just random. It's a surprise.
No,
You
no,
know, like
no.
hey, this is coming.
If you text me, say I get a text at 2:00 at night, it's like, hey, Daddy, check out my trailer. Like, man, you wake me up at 2:00 for this shit, and they could have waited another 4 hours. You probably get
Damn.
that
But
from me.
so
Yeah,
so so me being
yeah.
excited about my directorial debut, like I couldn't wake you up out of your sleep and be like, hey, check this out.
Hell no, you can't.
Wait, why not? Like you
There ain't no emergency.
that is very much an emergency. I'm like, Danny, you gotta wake your ass up and see this shit.
You wait to 6. And how about if I don't like it? Yeah, you know you're gonna get cussed out. Like, you wake me up for this shit right here. I could do this shit here on my computer. Then you're gonna be
Da-
mad and all in your
okay,
feelings.
okay, Danny. Number one, I would not get mad at you. That's not gonna happen. Number two, I highly doubt that I'm gonna make something that you don't like, considering that I know the things that you do like, and for the most part, we have the same taste. That goes for you too, Jason. Like the three of us on this panel, for the most part, we have the same kind of taste when it comes to entertainment. There are like exceptions, but
Yeah.
there's a reason
That,
why we
that
got
that
chemistry,
bullshit.
right?
That bullshit blank man and damn mirror man. I don't know what. How about you make some shit like that right there? Now I'd definitely be mad as hell. You make blank man and call me at 2:00 in the morning. I'm telling you
Yo,
right now, don't even do it.
hey
Don't even do
Jason,
it.
you know what'd be funny as hell about that? I make a blank man movie and that shit makes $1 billion, Jason. Wouldn't that be funny as fuck? I'm like, Danny, you
I'd
gonna
be
be
like,
seeing all these like billboards and shit. It's gonna have blank man on there, like number
that,
one movie in the world. Like,
that'd be the first time I agree. I'd be like, damn, them humans Terrence talking about they dumb as hell, ain't they? For paying their money to see a blank man too.
Danny, see, I feel like you would be too curious, and plus you would want to support me. You would go see blank man, like you wouldn't leave me hanging with
I
the.
see the money. I won't have to go see it. That's still supporting you.
No, you gotta go
Yeah.
see it, Danny. You
Yeah,
gotta.
Jason, is that not supporting him?
No,
It
you
is,
gotta
but
go
you
see
gotta
it.
watch it.
No, I don't.
The
It
man
costs
said,
Oh, come on. Come on, Dan.
it
You ain't
costs
gonna tell me.
$10.50. It costs $10.50 here. I'm gonna send you $21. That's 2 viewings.
No, Dan, you ain't gonna tell me you're not gonna support your boy. Like, I know you gonna
Man,
go see it. Like,
if it's black man, I swear I'm gonna be mad, boy. Like, why the fuck
okay,
did
but
he make this shit right here?
see that's why I'm laughing because you think it's gonna be bad, and then you watch, you gonna call me, you be like, damn, Terrence. Wait, you ain't
Well,
even gonna have to
okay,
call me. You gonna be at the damn premiere.
I
What am
will
I talking
go.
about? Call me.
I will go see it if you send it to me. Like, send my own personal DV. I can put in my DV. Yeah, I watch that.
No. You and Jason are at the premiere. There ain't no send you no nothing. You at the
Okay,
premiere.
you sending me the tickets.
No. I'm sending the helicopter to come and pick you
Okay,
up
you
and
sending me the
take you to the
helicopter.
location.
Okay, I might do that. If it's zero cost out of my pocket, I might support you.
Damn, that is just man
On
zero
that black,
you
cost.
wouldn't pay
Like
for a ticket to go watch the movie,
on
bro?
that Blank Man
damn,
project on Blank Man. Hell no! I'm telling you from the start. I think Blank Man is garbage. I'm telling you that. That ain't nothing that you guess and be like, damn, I wanted Danny gonna like this. I'm telling you right now, years before you do the project, Blank Man is garbage. Don't send me
Okay,
that shit.
so what if I were to tell you this though? Like, I'm not talking about a joke. Like, if all serious, if I said, Danny, I'm telling you right now, like, I know you don't like Blank Man, but you gonna have a Avengers Endgame reaction to this movie. You mean to tell me
That's
you would not?
impossible.
No, Danny,
why?
Danny.
That's
So you mean
impossible.
to tell? Hold up. I know it's impossible. It's just hypothetical. But look, you mean to tell me if I said some shit like that, me being who I am, I'm not gonna just say it. Just say it. Like,
Yeah.
if I were to say some shit like that, you wouldn't be curious to see what the hell I'm talking about?
So you telling me you gonna tell me the last hour of Blank Man is gonna be just as eventful as Endgame?
No, not the last hour. The whole movie.
Oh hell.
The whole
Yeah,
movie.
I had to see that, boy, because if you lying, boy, I'm gonna be on you.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna just say that. Like I said, it is a bit ridiculous, but I'm trying to, say different things as to why you're gonna go see it. Aside from, you support me and stuff because I'm your boy, but it's like, I would want there to be something else, obviously, that you have interest in it. Because, if I hit up Jason, like, Jason, you gonna see my movie? He's like, man, I don't like it. I'm like, damn, like, you supposed to all have the same vibes and shit. Like,
Bro, you wouldn't even have to ask me. You'd say, "Yo, I got to move in." Like, I'm there.
Thank you,
No,
Jason.
man.
Like,
You
Danny over
could be.
here.
I was gonna say you could be doing a romantic movie, bro. You know what I mean? A freaking love story, and it's like, yo, I made a love story. I'll be like, all right, I don't want to see it, but I'm there. You
See,
know
like,
what I mean? I'm
man,
there.
Danny be like, stepping on the heart and putting it in the blender and then pissing on it and flushing it down the toilet, blowing up the toilet, then blowing up the house.
Just to get away from seeing Blank Man. You know what I mean? It's like, nope.
See that?
Nope,
See,
I'm not going to see
I
no
feel like somebody has to make a bomb ass Blank Man movie. We gotta have to do something about Danny's attitude towards this character.
I would love for them to remake it.
Yeah, I think. See, because you have individuals like Danny that's not giving my boy Blank Man a chance. He don't think Darrow is good enough. What you have to do is make it in such a way to where he can change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be that lit ass trailer to where when people are like, man, you gotta check out that Blank Man. You be like, what, that silly movie from the night? You be like, no, that's what I thought. But then when I watched it, you know what, Danny, like, come on, Danny, like, all right, aside from Blank Man, like, I feel like I would make something that you would like. I would be
If
willing to guarantee.
if you make a karate movie, I'll be there. If you make Blood and Bone too,
I can make
there.
I can make a number of things, Danny, and you will be interested.
Okay, not Blank Man though. Don't make Blank Man.
But what if it were like I told you it were my passion project? Like, if it was like, I wrote it, directed it, and then Kevin Feige is the producer.
What movie you hate?
What movie do I hate?
Yeah, like you see, you don't care Venom. But if I tell you, hey, I'm doing Venom, but it's gonna be kind of sort of like the first Venom.
Number one, I would watch it because it's a Marvel property.
No, this is no Marvel property. This is in my backyard property.
I would still watch it because it's based off of a Marvel character.
Okay, you believe that, Jason?
And it's you, Danny. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
But
I'd
watch it.
But to be fair, to be fair though, to be fair to the both of you, have I not said if it's Marvel or DC, it has my attention by default, no matter my level of excitement. How many times have I said that? So if Jason, not Jason, but if Danny, even if I didn't know Danny and he told me that he was doing a Venom project in his backyard, like, I've seen some humans on YouTube do, like, fan films and shit. Some of them are actually pretty fucking good. In fact, like, some of them are better than the bullshit that Hollywood gives us. The only difference is that Hollywood has a bigger, flashier budget, but these people be coming up with better costumes. You be like, damn, the characters be looking on point. You be like, man, if I were to give them $10 million, they make so many people look bad. So Danny telling me that he's gonna do a Venom movie, I'd be like, what is that shit gonna look like? That might look better than the shit we got. For all I know.
True. That's true. And like I said, man, it could be you, Danny. You could do some type of. It could be a movie about a rat crossing the street. You guys are my boys, so of course I'm gonna go support you. It doesn't matter what it is.
But
You
but
know
see,
what I mean?
that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm like, I would want it to be more than that. I don't like. I would want you guys to be excited, because it's cool if you go because we boys, but it's better if you actually care about what I'm doing, right?
Well,
Like,
of course, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So, Danny, you have told me many times, Danny, how you have gotten enjoyment from my videos. Why would that not extend to me being able to play around in a sea of money to where I can have access to do the things that I like, right? Like, how could you not be excited about that?
If it's Blank Man, I'm telling you now, my excitement is gonna be like, what the fuck? I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now. It'd be different. I'd be like, I say, damn, Terrence, yeah, man, I'm interested to see it. And then you send me the helicopter, I don't show up, and we're gonna be like, what the hell? But now I'm telling you now, you send your helicopter and it's Blank Man, you know the first thing I'm gonna say when I get off the helicopter, man, why the fuck you bring me this shit? You know I don't like to watch no damn Blank Man. I done told you this on many, many shows.
And that's when I'm gonna put the arm around you and I'm like, look, my friend, you are in for a real treat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna happen. And also, I'm gonna tell you too that there's a surprise that I'm also one of the starring characters in the movie. I'm not gonna tell you which one.
God,
but
I hope you ain't Blank Man. I'll be like, what?
So
the fuck? I'd be like, damn,
Jason,
Terrence has degraded himself to acting like a fool on TV, on the big screen.
It would be funny though. It would kind of look like a parody because just the way I'm built and shit. Like if you just put that outfit on me, like.
God. What's that thing? F5? Oh my God.
J5, yeah.
J5. Oh my God. I want to kill J5. What the hell?
Yeah, hello, Kimberly. Like he was dope, man. Come on, J5 was the shit. Like he had this
J5
thing where
was shit. Yeah, you're right.
Come on, like he was a little AI made out of like a trash can and a washing machine.
Like an old washing machine bucket. Like what the hell?
He's able to have a conversation like how we're doing now. And to top it all off, he gave you fucking soda when you want it. That's dope right there. You got an intelligent conversation mixed with a Coca-Cola. Like ain't nothing better in life. Ain't nothing better.
You know?
Okay, Darth 3-6. So I guess Black Panther won't make a lot of money since it's not coming out in February.
I get it. I get it.
I get
no, it's gonna make money. I don't care if you put Black Panther 2 on Halloween. Everybody's going.
That just helped it on the initially out the gate. But now that he's got his own footing, then got a place, his own niche. It don't matter. Just like you said in regards to the Star Wars, it don't matter what month you put it out on. That's gonna make money. Some things is just gonna make money.
Exactly. Sure. Like I said, don't put your movie like. If I'm a movie studio, I don't care how much I believe in my project, right? I'm not putting it up.
I'm not competing with Marvel or DC. It ain't going to happen.
I'm not doing nothing against Marvel, DC, Fast and the Furious, Star Wars, none of that. So those are the four. Yeah. Like, what about everything else? I don't know. Like the Fantastic Beasts films are not on that level. I mean, they kind of make their variables are up and down.
Back in the day, I wouldn't put anything up against Twilight either.
Oh man, Twilight, yeah.
And back in the day, man, you didn't want to tell us a story about how them girls.
I know, but it's like I would do it just because I want to give people something else to look at. Because not everybody want to see that. Because look, I went and look, I enjoyed, except for like Breaking Dawn Part 1. That shit was boring. But the other ones, as bad as they are. They sure are entertaining, man. The shit that these characters do and say, and the atrocious acting, and these things that think that they're vampires and shit. I'm just like, yo, like, I couldn't help but enjoy it, man. I was so entertained. I'm like, I hope these characters die. I want to see what stupid shit they say next. I want to see how this character, Edward, who a lot of women said is the perfect male, and they were talking to their boyfriends about how they wanted the
Well,
boyfriend to be more like Edward. I'm like, this motherfucker abandoned Bella in the woods and shit and left her to die.
I don't know how much it costs to make them, but I'm looking at it now, and Eclipse made 698 million.
Mm-hmm,
The first movie made 393.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn 1 made 712, and
mm-hmm,
Breaking Dawn
mm-hmm.
2 made 829.
Yeah. Like the one that you just mentioned, Eclipse and New Moon are my favorite out of those because they focus on the werewolves, which I think are cooler than the vampires.
Yeah, New Moon made 709 million.
Yeah, so like,
So
because
if
to
I add
me
them
the
all together, that's shit. How
yeah,
much?
it's a lot. Like you're right, but it's like I would I would do it only in the sense again that I would want something else for people to watch because if you're not really into vampires and werewolves, you're not going to care. You might be looking for something else to watch, as were other movies that came out around that time.
Mm-hmm. If you have faith in your movie, I'd go up against those. I would not go up against Star Wars. I would not go up against Fast and the Furious. I would not go up against Marvel. I mean, even the crappiest Marvel still makes
Well,
money, right?
What?
they still
Well. I think there are some exceptions, though, Jay. Very few. And if you're wondering what exceptions those may be, I feel like
Iron Man 3.
it would have to be from a recognizable IP, something that
Mm-hmm.
where it's already super well known. That's probably the only chance that you may have. Like if I made this dope ass Dragon Ball Z movie and Kevin Feige was like, "Oh, Captain Marvel 3 is coming," I'm like, Kevin, look here, man. I got me a badass Dragon Ball Z movie. I'm dropping that shit on the same fucking date. I ain't changing nothing. Like that. That's how I would do it. But yeah.
I tell you now, based on the
You lose to Captain Marvel, though.
last Star Wars movie, Star Wars
Hey,
might be losing some of its
I
power.
don't know, Jason. Like if Danny, if think about this, if somebody made a badass looking Dragon Ball Z movie, I'm talking about everything looks dope. That trailer is fire. Like you don't think that's gonna make some money?
I'm telling you right now, if a Dragon Ball Z movie came out and the trailer was fire and they had the right director and the right actors, I see two hot trailers, and if Captain Marvel or definitely if Guardians of the Galaxy, it ain't even close.
See, there you go.
I'd be right in Dragon Ball. It ain't even close.
Because I've already told people, I'm like, look, you want to see action, you ain't gonna get that shit with no fucking Captain Marvel. In fact, I would tell them, you think you saw some cool action with the MCU, ain't got shit on my fucking Dragon Ball Z movie. I'm about to make all that shit look bad.
Now another
all
one I throw in there too, Shazam. Bye.
Now between Shazam and Dragon Ball Z, that would be both on the same day. The last time,
only way
for
I
me
go
it
see
would.
Shazam if it be the Black Adam. If it's the
That-
Rock gonna be in that sucker and Dragon Ball Z, I'll be like, oh fuck. It'd be like this.
Okay, but if
I'm gonna see one at 6:00, and I'm gonna catch one at 8:00.
See, I did that. The last time I did that was when the Karate Kid and the A-Team came out. They came out on the same day. I watched the A-Team first, and then 3 hours later, I watched the Karate Kid. So if you got two movies coming out that I want to see, if you got a Dragon Ball Z and a DC movie, both of those are on the same day.
Yeah, but if I only got, say for instance, I only had $10 in my pocket, I'm leaning towards the Dragon Ball.
I might be right there with you, Danny, but here's where I would lean more towards Shazam. Because in the case of Shazam, there's a certain enjoyment that I got from the first one as to where the last time I saw something Dragon Ball related, it'd be a little bit more of a gamble. So I would have to lean more towards.
You know the Dragon Ball movie is going to pretty much parallel Super. And you're going to see Jiren fight Goku in his Ultra Instinct form. You know that what they're going to do. Or a Shazam movie. What the hell are you going to look at?
That makes it tougher. It does, because To be honest, I would truly find a way to do both. And if I can't, then I don't know, because it depends on what's in Shazam. Because I don't know what the plot of Shazam 2 is, but it seems like that they may go into the various magical realms, which can introduce a lot of magical DC characters.
Yeah, it's too
So
many though. It's 7 realms. I'm reading that comic book now. It's too many for them to do in one movie.
no,
God.
no, they don't have to. Again, look, whenever something seems like it's too much, there has to be a focus point, right? So naturally, you're not going to give them all equal time. But for the person that doesn't know, you have to show them that it's there. Your movie always needs to have a focus point. And as long as there's a focus point, you don't have to do that. All you do is set it up, and you can always go back to it
Yeah,
later. In
I hear,
fact,
I hear what you're saying, but
yeah.
from what I read, man, you're gonna have to go back to see like the origin story of what's the little worm name?
Oh, Mr. Mind.
Mr. Mind, because he was like a loser in his realm, and then he got cast over, I think, to Shazam's realm and secretly spied on Shazam and got powerful like that.
And he has a group of villains working for him.
Yeah,
Like he ain't
that,
no
that just
chump now.
it's just a lot to explain. I would think in one movie.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think Warner Brothers knows that there has to be a focus point. It's like with Doctor Strange, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's connected to him, but they didn't do it all in one movie.
Yeah,
They
but
just got you to,
you got to do the origin though. I just think it's too much origin. Say they do a Black Adam, and they have Savannah and Mr. Mind in there. That's kind of the storybook I'm reading. It kind of got all three of them. They kind of work.
yeah,
Basically, they went back into the different realms, and now they ass stuck in them. And Black Adam got to come and save them because Billy didn't take time to learn about the history of the other 7 realms.
right. But
Now,
but see,
if they do that, that's a lot to put in a movie. Is all I'm saying.
right, but they're
Mhm.
not going to do it. They're not going to do it like that. When you adapt it, you have to cut out the stuff that's non-consequential in the moment.
Yeah, but
So in the
will
case
people
of
be able to keep up though?
yes, you just have to explain it in a way to where the best way that you do comic book material is to do it in a way to where you satisfy the people that know what you're talking about, but you also have people like my mom who's never read shit to fully understand. When my mom watched Shazam, she fully understood what was happening because they explained it. So with these realms, you just have to show that they're there, and then at that point, with this movie, you can focus on you can do either Dr. Savannah and Mr. Mind together, and then that will lead into Black Adam because Black Adam is a character where in his movie you have to show his origin story, would be like way back in the Egyptian times, and then that's how you can introduce like Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and then eventually that could lead to the JSA, and then you show him in present day while he's dealing with Shazam, the Shazam family, and of course Dr. Savannah and Mr. Mind will be there. So it's either going to be that you have Black Adam align himself with Mr. Mind and Dr. Savannah for one specific reason, or you have you could do that, but then you can also have Black Adam with the Shazam family for a specific reason, but it's only a temporary alliance, and there has to be a very specific objective. Like, why are all these people here? Are they after the same thing? Like, what's the focus point? So that's how you have to do that. You have to have a focus point. So you don't want to make it a jumbled mess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, bro. We are now coming to an end because it has been 3 hours and 18 minutes, and I am tired
So
and hungry.
I got a question for you, Danny. So
All right,
do you believe that Shazam 2 is going to be better than Shazam 1?
I do.
Okay, I think so as well, and I think it's because of the stuff that they're setting up. And I think that right now with Black Adam, humans are sleeping on it. I know that Dwayne is attached, and that kind of sparked curiosity, but I feel like they're sleeping right now. Once a trailer comes out, like I think what they should do when they drop the Black Adam trailer, it naturally is going to be a teaser. Like some people think that you should show him sitting or standing or hovering, and he just looks badass, and it says coming soon, and then you hit him with the full trailer after that. That's fine, but Dwayne really badly wants Henry Cavill to be Superman in his Black Adam movie. Now, Dwayne Johnson, out of all the celebrities that have pull in Hollywood, Dwayne Johnson is at the top. That's facts. So if anyone can get that to happen, it's Dwayne because he has the pull because he's the star of that movie. You know, and they've been trying to do it forever, and it really was Dwayne Johnson, you know, doing different things as to why it couldn't happen. He explained it like on Instagram or whatever. But like, I think that it would be the coolest shit ever if you can somehow get Henry Cavill to be Superman and it be a secret until that shit happens. And in the teaser trailer, it'd be the coolest thing if you have Black Adam and Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, about to punch the shit out of each other and that shit comes off. That can be your teaser trailer. That shit would blow up fucking Instagram and Twitter and all that shit. Because now, number one, all those naysayers are like, he's never going to come back. Well, there you go right there, right? The people that want to see Man of Steel 2, that's not Man of Steel 2, but hey, your boy is back as Superman, right? So that's the way there. And you got Henry fighting Dwayne. You got respectable physiques battling each other, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. And then when you get the full trailer, you can show Black Adam, you can show Shazam and Superman. You could also show the JSA. So for all intents and purposes, that could be your Avengers thing without it needing to be Avengers. That's just the nature of how dope DC is. Like, hey, look at all these badass characters. You want to know what this shit is about? Go and see the movie.
My only issue is, are they gonna go the Shazam? Not the Shazam route, the Venom route, and make Black Adam good?
Well, here's the thing: Black Adam in the comic books, he's been evil, but he's also been an anti-hero, right? Like in the case of the Venom movie, he was just good. People were like he was an anti-hero. No, he was just good. He was fucking good. This dude was like, don't kill, don't kill. He was a good guy, complete good guy. In the case of Black Adam, depending on how they do his movie, like Dwayne said that he specifically wanted them to show his origins, like Black Adam's origin. Like he has another name. It's really stupid hard to pronounce. It's harder than Mr. Mxyzptlk. Like it's like some shit where I need to hear it said because I've never heard like, you know, Black Adam's real name said out loud like that before. So I need to hear how they're gonna pronounce it because he has a crazy ass name. But like, if you show his origins with him, his people, and his family, and how they got their shit wrecked, and then how he took on the Egyptians' God's powers to become Black Adam, and then he just started murking people, just bloodthirsty and shit. Like, if you show that, at that point, you would establish to the audience that, okay, this dude is a savage. He doesn't care. He's going to just do whatever he feels is right. But then you could sort of change that based upon the circumstances, which is where if he's working with the Shazam family, you're telling the audience like, okay, well, he's not good, but it's a temporary alliance because they have the same kind of goal. Like whether it's Dr. Savannah and Mr. Mind, they're doing some shit that is going to do a disservice to not only Black Adam, but to Shazam and everybody else. So logically, it makes sense for them to work together, but it's just temporary. Like once that shit is over, then it goes right back to where it was, and even worse. Because then if Black Adam is working with different people, he now knows their powers, he now knows their weaknesses, which could also be part of this play. That's something that he's done before too. You're like, yeah, we buddy, but he's sitting there taking notes. So that way when he sees you tomorrow, you get your ass fucked up. That's what kind of character he is.
Gotcha.
So I think they should go into that. And I think that the audience they're in for a real treat because of the storytelling, the mythology. You got the Egyptian mythology, you got the God mythology, you got the magic mythology. You get like a lot of really cool DC stuff. Like that's why I love DC so much. Their characters are very complex as they are very powerful. It's not just look at me, I'm a powerful DC character and I have no substance. They got a lot of substance. They just have to show people. So you can get something like where you won't end up in the Captain Marvel situation where she's like all powerful and it's like, who does she fight? Stupid shit. Like you don't get that with Black Adam. There are people that can fight him, but it has to be for a reason. Shazam, the Shazam family, Superman. And wouldn't that be like a cool, Danny, wouldn't that be like a cool way to end a trailer? Like imagine you fucking got Black Adam, he laying hands on Shazam and shit, right? Just fucking Shazam up, and then out of nowhere, Henry Cavill Superman just decked Black Adam in the face, and then you got just Superman next to Shazam, and they both start fighting Black Adam at the same time. Like picture how Danny, how Goku and Vegeta were fighting Jiren, but you got that with Shazam, Black Adam, and Superman.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would definitely pay to see it.
See, I got so much shit in my head. Damn it.
Well, I'm sorry this got to come to an end, my brother, but it has. We've been on 3 hours and 25 minutes, which is the longest I've ever been on. Before we leave, Terrence, tell the people where they can find you now that you decide to come back on to the streaming world.
Yeah, I've I'm back on the Tremaine Terrence channel. I definitely dropped like 13 videos or whatever. But I talked to my brother, and he was upset about different things. But like I told him, I'm like, look, man, I stepped away because there were problems. So he now knows that I'm serious. Because I think before he was like, nah, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna. What happened? Terrence wasn't gonna do what? So over there are thousands of videos consisting of reviews on shows, movies, different topics, different blogs. There's all kinds of stuff over there. I just speak my mind. Sometimes humans have a problem with it, including Tremaine. But like I said, Danny, I talked to you about this. Jason, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but I have a very interesting contingency plan in place that has yet to reveal itself, but it is interesting. I have been working on it since March 30th, and it's literally been from March 30th up till now, right? So not exactly a month, but almost a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been working on it for 6 hours every day since March 30th. Like just a lot of just ideals, and then there's a lot of editing involved and doing certain things. Like it's just one of those things. Like once it reveals itself, it's just like, how long did it take you to do all this? I'm like, it took a very long time. I mean, considering all the limitations and stuff on YouTube. So that if you're wondering why it took 6 hours every day since March 30th, that's because I've been doing different things that have allowed me to really find out the limits of YouTube in terms of what I can and can't do, and the things I can get away with based upon how I'm able to edit and manipulate shit. So that's my contingency plan, and I'll just kind of leave it at that, just in case if I, decide to leave my main channel again. And I don't want to take credit away from my brother, but
so we won't see this plan unless you decide to leave your brother's channel again.
No, not necessarily. Like it put it like this. It will become more pronounced if that happens. But if depending on how things work, it may reveal itself. Like I'm not really looking at a specific date or anything. It's just one of those things where if things line up, then it just might reveal itself. It's one of those things. But it's more or less just, again, a backup and a contingency plan that I've set up and worked on to where I can easily, just do that and not have to worry about where I'm at. That's just a for instance. It's more of a, even though it's been like the 6 hours since March 30th, like I said, it's been a lot of work, but it's also been a lot of fun. And I wanted to see if I could do it. And number one, how long it's going to take. But like I said, like if you ever get to see it, man, like I think you will understand like why it took so long and shit. Like I'm surprised I was able to do it, and it's not even done yet. So,
well, hopefully we get to see it one day, bro.
Yeah. So just trust that. I mean, did you guys like want some hints or something, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny or
Yeah, I'm listening.
oh, so you remember how I was talking about to you, Danny specifically? I don't know if I told Jason or not, but like, remember I was talking about the whole concept of the Terrence streaming service kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. I do.
Okay, so picture that I'm working on something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more or less like, the greatest hits from Terrence kind of thing. Like in terms of things that I like and enjoy, and just it essentially all being on a specific area under one roof kind of thing.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
so it's like it's the most it's the most editing and stuff I've ever done in terms of because again, YouTube, like, it only allows you to do certain things. So when you're dealing with copyright content and stuff, you really have to be careful with how you decide to implement it, because there's the different policies and claims and things of that sort. But you would be surprised at how much they allow you to do, as long as you fall within their guidelines in terms of how long something is, and things of that sort. Like editing would have to come into play. So, but yeah, I'm not done, and I still have so much work to do. But like I said, that's more of the that I've been working on it since March 30th. So like ahead of when humans are like, you should do your own stuff. I was already way ahead of that. Danny, you remember the conversation that I had with you when I was like, did humans really think that I was just gonna like not do anything and stuff? Like I had already planned for that, like way
Yeah,
ahead of time.
I remember.
So I'm not saying that I was trying to like, lie or manipulate you guys, but it's supposed to be, again, a surprise for a reason. So
I got you.
Hmm.
I understand. All right, Jason, tell the people where they can find you at, good sir.
Well, you guys can find me on this channel every Monday or Sunday, or whichever day it is. Sunday, right? Every Sunday. Other
Mhm.
than that, I'm not really doing anything yet, but I'm hoping to, like Terrence, I'm thinking of some plans to do and some kind of streams and videos to put up. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. I just checked my poll, and the question I posed before the show was, are the rumors true Chadwick Boseman will not come back in Black Panther 2? And I gave 5 different answers. 1 being yes, 2 being no, 3 being say it ain't so, 4 being I don't care, and 5 being it better not be true. And number one at 42% is I don't care. So people basically don't care whether or not he
Wow.
comes back. Yep, 42%. The next one is 25%. It better not be true. So, having said that, it wasn't tied to their opinion. I hope it's not true. But my name is Danny. This is my channel, Comment Chat. This is the show that I do every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me, Terrence, and Jason. It's called Equilibrium, where we try to equal each other out on our comments, observations, and opinions. Tomorrow night, I'll be on my other show, which is called A Chaotic Conversation. I have not come up with a category yet. I'm kind of struggling this week with one, but I'm sure I'll come up with one before I go to bed tonight. So until next time, please maintain and practice your social distancing and stay safe. And until then, take it easy, stay cool.
Peace.